Support for the show, FYF Sports, is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all of your below-the-waist grooming needs. Get 20% off and free shipping with coupon code FYFCREW at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code FYFCREW. Your balls will thank you.
Talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo! Fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch the cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo! Fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. They all know, shop don't close. Working 24, trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show. Couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby. You must be crazy, trying to ever play me. Or you super tough until it's time to say cheese. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo! Fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is.
FYF Sports. Hey man, make sure y'all haven't done so already. I know it's a lot of y'all in here. It's gonna be a long day today. We got this topic to cover, but then we also got to make sure we drink our Bang energy drinks, man. We drink our Bang energy drinks so that on days like today, man, we can stay alert. This is how you catch the max ether, man. You drink your Bang energy drink. You just listen to people and you just let people talk long enough and they just start to really eat to themselves. That's what's happened in a number of cases. And the Bang energy drink for me is one of the primary reasons why I'm able to catch so many people capping, you know. And so I compel all of you guys to go check Bang energy drink out, nearest gas station or convenience store, man. Great energy drink, great for pre, post workout. Even if you're not working out, if you're just ready to head off to work, grab your Bang energy drink, man. So salute to everybody for jumping in today. All right, salute to everybody in the chat. And you know what? I see y'all in the chat, man. I see y'all in the chat going at Mr. Winters, man. Look, y'all don't have to go at, don't run them off, man. I want people who don't agree with me. I want to invite them into the live stream because I like to hear them talk. Again, if you let people talk long enough, we've seen it time and time again on this show. We just saw it yesterday with SB when we were talking about the Rachel Nichols situation. You know, salute to SB Sports Talk. But he eaten himself just because we allowed him to talk long enough. All right. So that's what we love to do, man. Mr. Winters says that Karceno, he jumped in early. He didn't even know what I was saying. Mr. Winters don't even know where he don't know the lane that I'm trying to navigate with this topic. He just saw the thumbnail, he saw the title, and instantly got emotional. All right, that goes against the grain of FYF Sports. Forget your feelings. Mr. Winters got emotional. I want him to come in. I want to know why he's so emotionally tied to an argument that he hasn't heard, and he's defending people. He doesn't even know what he's going to be defending. Me and him could ultimately end up agreeing, and he's came in here and said all that and doesn't even know what I'm about to say. That's what I like. All right, so we don't run people off, man. We keep them over here because we like to invite them onto the live panel. So any, and the goal of this was hopefully, and I know that they'll never do it, but the ultimate goal of this was to maybe get a Karceno or Kwame Brown to come pull up. But we know those guys don't like to leave their comfort zone. When they leave the comfort, we saw how shaky Kwame Brown looked when he left his comfort zone and he went over to Ticket TV and he was confronted by antisocial. He was stumbling and stuttering over his words. He couldn't answer questions. He was ducking and dodging real questions. He never answered anything. So when they leave their comfort zone, we see how they act. So I don't expect any of these guys. I expect them, and I don't even expect them to make a video on me. That's not the point of this. I don't need any additional attention from them. All right. My whole goal of this was to just say, look, these two guys are simply a diversion and a distraction from what's really going on. All right. Because we talk about Kwame Brown and he's talking about he spent the majority of his time. Okay, Mr. Winters, and if you feel he destroyed Anti, again, I don't know what you were listening to. But if you feel like he destroyed Anti, then you got to come on the live panel and you really got to explain that. Because if you actually had ears and could hear, I don't know what you was listening to. There was nothing that he said that destroyed Anti. Anti came with a lot of points because, again, he came with a lot of points that Kwame Brown failed to answer. And Kwame Brown had no real rebuttal for. But if you're biased and you're just a fan, well, we know what that means. But do y'all know? See, this is why I call y'all. See, when I look at this base right here, all right, and someone else told me this, another YouTuber told me, you need to look at your supporters like this. This is why I call you guys supporters or subscribers. I don't call you guys fans because y'all know what fan means. All right, FAN. It means fake ass niggas. That's what it is. That's why none of y'all can be fans. See, Mr. Winters is a fan of Kwame Brown because when the Kwame Brown movement dies down, he will no longer be there to support Kwame Brown. If Kwame Brown's channel dies and the views go down, a lot of these guys will no longer be fans. See, but supporters always stick around, whether the views are up or down. Like I can look, that's why I can look. I know a lot of you guys. I know a lot of you guys in the chat person, like Humble's. I seen him a lot. Sammy, I haven't, she's new to the channel, but now, again, I try to get to know everybody in here. So we got, and her name, I think is Samantha. All right. We got Question Everything TV comes in here a lot. Big Solomon comes in here. We have big debates. Big Kev, see him on Go Mike's channel all the time. Same with Roscoe. We came and chopped it up about fatherhood. The thing is, I can point to a lot of you guys because it's starting to become bigger than just being a fan. Y'all are supporters, man. Not just, y'all, it's bigger than that. But see, I think a lot of people miss the picture in that. Even with Brother Omari Juma, he's not a fan, man. He's a supporter of the channel. What do the 3 letters in fan mean? It means fake ass niggas. Kwame Brown has a whole bunch of fans because they're going to come and go with the drama. And we're here to talk about that. We're here to talk about that today. And like I said, again, if you're highly emotional about it, if you can come in here, again, I'm going to talk about a lot of things today, and I'm going to open the panel up. I'm going to invite a whole panel of people in here. I can test anybody to come in here and tell me, give me one informative thing that Kwame Brown has taught you since he's been online outside of the drama. And I can test. I don't think he's taught anything informative. He's not shown anybody anything. The only thing he's running around doing is he's talking about coding now, but I don't even think he understands coding. He's saying that coding needs to be put in schools. No, it doesn't. You can sign your kid up in an online course for $99 to start learning coding today at home, which a lot of these kids are doing homeschooling anyway. You don't need the schools to teach them kids that. As a matter of fact, if you start putting coding in the hands of the school system, they gonna mess it up anyway. I mean, like I said, but you know what? Like I said, we're gonna invite people in here to contest all these points. And this is directly connected to Kwame Brown, and it connects to Karceno, because everything that Kwame Brown says, Karceno doubles down on, right? He doubles down on for no real reason. I can show you guys this right here. The thing is, I was looking at, obviously I have to study other YouTubers. If you're on YouTube, y'all, and Ocho Cinco, that's another way to do it, self-learn. But if you're on YouTube, if you're a YouTuber, I compel everybody to do this. It's your job as a YouTuber to study other YouTube channels. All right. If you're not studying other YouTubers and YouTube channels, then you don't need to be on YouTube. You need to see what works, what doesn't work, what's successful, what's not successful. And in the midst of, just studying Karceno, since this whole Kwame Brown saga began, Karceno has made over 120 videos in reference to Kwame Brown, including a video that says people need to stop clout chasing Kwame Brown. I said, stop. Okay. I don't know. I mean, it even got to a point where Ticket TV stopped making videos, this many videos about Kwame Brown. I mean, he was riding away for a minute, but goddamn, to continuously follow everything that he says. And the one thing I also noticed about these two guys is that they like to particularly avoid people that have opposing opinions. Not only do they like to avoid opposing opinions, unlike what we do at this channel, they avoid labeling or putting names to anything. They talk about the go along, get along gang. Start identifying what this go along, get along gang is. Who is it? What companies, organization, people are a part of it? Or are you just saying go along, get along gang because it's a funny term that everybody's, is connecting to because it's funny? Right? We hear a lot of theys and thems. Right? We hear a lot of jokes thrown at people like Matt Barnes. What we hear a lot is we hear a lot of talk about, tearing down the black community, and this is what they did to Kwame Brown. But consistently on that channel, on Kwame Brown's channel, the only thing that I've seen on that channel is him going at other black men. Right? The only time that he actually went at someone white on his channel was when he was talking about Rachel Nichols, and he actually went at that situation with the wrong angle. If you look at what Kwame Brown said about the Rachel Nichols situation, he's the one that talks about big media and how corrupt they are. Rachel Nichols, if you're not surface level, obviously you can criticize her for the Maria Taylor comments, but if you're not surface level and you dive deeper into her comments, what was she talking about? She was talking about the corrupt practices of ESPN, how they go with the ebbs and flows of the social justice movement just to put on a mask and make it seem like they're really for us, and they're not. I talked about these things, like I said yesterday. I talked about these same things on Ticket TV last year. as the NBA bubble was in process. And I criticized Kyrie Irving because they weren't really making the NBA do anything to assist with these social efforts. They had all the power in their hands, and the only thing they got from the NBA was t-shirts, slogans, and a promise from Adam Silver for more conversations. That's what they got. I was the only one, and people on Ticket's channel laughed me off, said I was crazy, said I was a coon. But look what happened. The bubble ended. They forgot about it just as soon as it started. No more BLM stuff. Everyone's actually running. All these leagues are actually running around saying, well, now that we actually gave you your little BLM games in the bubble, let's not do that no more. Nobody's taking a knee. Nobody's wearing just a BLM jerseys, none of that. So now they just moved all the way away from it because it's no longer popular for their ratings. But they don't talk about the real things. They like talking about the drama. See, the drama in that conversation is bashing Rachel Nichols. You can talk about that all day. You can call her names. You can say she should be fired. But I want to ask y'all a question. When Martin Luther King said the solution to racism, what did Martin Luther King Jr. say the solution to racism was? He said the solution to racism is not about singling out one individual person like Rachel Nichols. Let's say she is a racist. Okay, we fire Rachel Nichols. Does that solve any problem at all? Martin Luther King Jr. said you have to break down the systematic racism that's going on. And Kwame Brown has multiple times on multiple occasions indicated very vividly and clearly that he's scared of this so-called machine that he likes to talk about. All right. When he starts his live, 2 minutes before his live starts, he says, I can't cuss. Why? Because YouTube, he likes to call people's zaddies. Well, YouTube is his zaddy right now because he has a timer in his hand and he makes sure not to cuss 2 minutes into his video because YouTube, his zaddy, might get him. When he was talking with Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown, obviously he has no filter for anything, much respect to him. But when he started talking about Kamala Harris, what did Kwame Brown do? He looks dead into the camera and says, hey, YouTube, that's not me. That's not me. I didn't say that. He separates himself from any real situation that needs to be addressed. He tries to isolate himself from anything real. Once I saw him do that, I said, you're on here to entertain. You're on here to be a distraction. You're not really on here to talk about nothing real. I talked about the Deshaun Watson situation. And when we talked about something real on this channel, what did YouTube do to us? See, because we don't have no filter, YouTube shut us down for almost 2 months, took away our ability to live stream. They took away our ability to live stream because our conversation about the Deshaun Watson situation was too real. See, if you are really talking that talk, that's what YouTube will do to you. YouTube will allow gangbangers to make videos showing guns. YouTube will allow panels like Ticket TV's panel where you got black men threatening each other over basketball talk. They will allow that to go down. But when you start to have real sensible conversations and YouTube understands and sees that, they will shut your ability to live stream down just like they did us. I want you guys to tell me, when did YouTube shut Kwame Brown's live stream down? If he's so real, when did they shut him down? If Karceno is so real, when has he said anything to have his channel really shut down? True to King says it all the time, shut your channel down. All right, Kwame Brown, it's about that time. He's just spitting a lot of lies. The black community, we're full of a whole bunch of people that say that they're real. Kwame Brown is one of those people. He claims that he's real. Karceno is definitely tagging along that line. He says he's real. Are they really real? All right. The thing is, I spoke with Tommy Sotomayor. I spoke with him on his channel multiple times. And the thing is, I can openly admit, and I even told Tommy this on this show, I don't agree with you on a lot of your political stuff. That don't mean I got to come on my platform and just bash you. I would much rather just invite Tommy Sotomayor on the channel to have a debate. It's called FYF Debates. And then when it's all said and over with, we ain't got to be mad. Kwame Brown is sitting here beefing and is literally in his feelings about Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, LeBron James, Bomani Jones, all of these black men. But I want y'all to do your research and think, when has he made a video specifically focusing on Doug Collins? All right. When you talk to Nick Young, And when you talk to some of his Washington Wizards teammates, they talk about how it wasn't Michael Jordan. It was Doug Collins who was primarily responsible for ruining the first 2 years of his NBA career, if you want to blame anybody. But yet he's made no real video going at a white man in Doug Collins. He's not. But he's went after Charlamagne. Charlamagne got under his skin. He got into his feelings. So he went after Charlamagne. He's still going after Charlamagne. Now he calls, instead of using his real name, remember what Kwame Brown does, because he, again, avoids using people's real name. He calls him lesser charged. All right. He calls people like Matt Barnes, Becky with the good hair. He uses these slick little terms trying to be funny because that's what entertainers do. He started to become a great entertainer. But see, all the while he's been a great entertainer, because when this entire thing jumped off and his channel exploded, what was going on? Tulsa Week. So while Tulsa Week was going on, while Congress was interviewing the last few survivors of Tulsa Week, which is something Kwame Brown probably doesn't have the intellect to even dive into, or he was just being used as a distraction to get us not to look into it. Well, that was going on. Real survivors from the Tulsa bombings were talking to Congress about what was going on. That what was happening when this first jumped off. But that got superseded by Kwame Brown. He started to take over the internet. What's going on in Georgia right now? This is where he lives. Doesn't he stay in Georgia? What's going on right now in Georgia? Huh? What's going on? It's Georgia's voter suppression bill. All right. The last time I checked, the only the only athlete that was actually in Georgia trying to address that voter suppression bill was LeBron James. That's the last time I checked. That's who. And LeBron James has been doing that since last year. But Kwame Brown came out publicly and said that LeBron James, his school was fake. Is being controlled by the man or whoever he likes to say, because again, he never likes to put names on anything. He just likes to say they and them. He never labels anybody. So he'll just say they and them. So that's what he says. So in his own state, he's not even addressing what he needs to address in his own local, surroundings. See, that's where most of us have to start. If we want to start seeing that big national change, we all need to start locally. Has he even started locally to even address Georgia's voter suppression bill? Has he even talked about it on his channel? Or is that far past his head? Because again, I've seen him talking about Charlamagne. I've seen him talking about everything else, but what's really going on in his state, something that can impact a lot of people. And with the voice that he has in Georgia, has he used it in his own locale, right, to make a change? I continuously hear him talking about a shoe program. Is that what the community needs right now? I'm just saying, no offense to it. No offense to the shoe program. Salute to the shoe program. I appreciate you getting shoes on their feet. Please make sure they some legitimate shoes, because if you come to these kids in today's age, if you come to them with some bullshit shoes, they're gonna laugh you out. So you better be coming with some heat. This ain't the day, and this ain't the era to come with some bullshit shoes. So you better be coming with some heat, man. If you ain't coming with no heat, then that shoe program is gonna be worthless, because the kids especially, are not gonna take you seriously. You know, when I have my basketball practices at GCU, one of the rewards that I give to the kids is after practice. Obviously, I can't get everybody shoes, but what I'll do is I'll say, let's do half-court shots to winner. First person to make 2 half-court shots gets a pair of shoes. But I don't pick them out. I say pick whatever you want out from finishline.com. I'm not about to be handing out some British Knights or whatever Kwame Brown wears, thinking I got a shoe program that's successfully being ran. Come on, y'all. Let's open the live chat up. We're going to talk about all of these things. We're going to talk about the over 115 videos that Karceno's done, tagging along everything that Kwame Brown says. We're going to talk about how Kwame Brown never entertains anyone that has a difference of opinion, as opposed to opening up that dialogue. What he does is he goes back to his channel and then just makes jokes about him. That's what he does. You know, maybe he'll do that to me to a certain degree. I don't care. I mean, I don't honestly don't mind. How do you get on the live, Coco Bean? Coco Bean, I'm gonna be dropping the link here in 1 second. So it's a link to the StreamYard. A lot of people have seen it before. We're gonna drop the link, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, if you haven't been on this channel before, if you come onto the live panel, make sure you have some facts, because I've done my research on this. So don't say anything that you cannot back with facts, or you will get ethered, and we will laugh. We're not gonna call you out your name. We're not gonna make up no names for you, anything like that. But we will get a good laugh out of it if you come with bad facts. All right, so make sure you come with some real facts on this topic right here. All right, and, because again, I'm just, like I said, I don't look at these things surface level, but from my vantage point, after looking at this for the last month, he's starting to look like he's been a distraction. Mr. Winters, feel free to come in. I want your takes, Mr. Winters. If you're a supporter of Karceno, again, I have no problem with that. I watch his videos. They're very entertaining. Karceno even went as far as saying on his channel, Kwame Brown would be better than LeBron James if he had more accessibility to better trainers or something to that degree. I mean, I don't know if Kwame if Karceno really has a true love for this man, Kwame Brown. It doesn't seem that way. But man, he said this man could be better than LeBron James. I said, LeBron? I mean, say anybody else. You know what? Say anybody else. Say Al Horford or something. Say, I mean, God dang, say somebody. Say Tristan Thompson. Let's get more realistic with it. This man went all the way and said this man, Kwame Brown, could potentially have been better than LeBron James, man. Y'all think look, all you got to do is, I told you, if you let people talk, and I just go over there and listen. When I go to Karceno's channel, I rarely ever type in the chat. I don't say anything. I just listen. And all I hear is a whole bunch of hate. I mean, and again, you know what? If that's what your channel is built on, it's built off drama, rumors, and hate. That's fine. That's what Ticket's channel is turned into. Drama, hate-filled conversations, no real debates, real emotional talk. That's what it's turned into. That's my opinion. If that's not factual, then those guys need to come debate me on that particular topic and come with the facts. They won't. Yeah, they won't. Link is in the live chat. Again, if you're new and you haven't been in the live panel, make sure that you hit this link and come in. I want to talk to some new people. I want to hear from people that don't agree with me. I want to hear from the people that are the big time Karceno and Kwame Brown fans. Again, like I said, you got to be factual, because again, I just see a big distraction. I see a humongous distraction sitting in Georgia right now. All right. And that's Kwame Brown. We got people talking about coding that don't know coding themselves. We got people talking about coding that couldn't tell you the first thing about JavaScript or C+ or C++. You got people talking about coding needs to be in schools when it don't need to be in schools. I entrust coding at home if I'm teaching it myself, or if I have a program, right, that I know will teach him how to run it the right way, and it's not going to be biased towards anyone because that program doesn't see color. It just teaches whoever signs up and pays for it. So when I looked at Kwame Brown, if he ever came in here, I'd be like, with that money that you're bringing in, how many kids are you going to sponsor? How many kids are you going to pay for their coding program? How are their coding classes, their at-home coding classes? Mr. Big Chest, man, what's good, man?
What's up, Lamont? How you doing?
I'm good, man. What are your thoughts on this whole Kwame Brown situation? again, it's just from the clout chasing aspect, because it's starting to seem like that these two are becoming some of the biggest distractions on YouTube. Because every time I go on there, I don't hear anything factual. I don't hear any talk that's uplifting towards the community. I just hear jokes being cracked towards either Charlamagne the God, towards Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Stephen A. Smith, Jamel Hill, Bomani Jones, LeBron James, all of the people that I named are what skin tone? They are all black. I'm just trying to figure out what is this platform all about? If it's not just clout chasing or just out here being a distraction. I want y'all to tell me. That's what I'm saying. Again, this video is for, if I'm wrong, I need y'all to come in here and explain it to me. If I need y'all to give me a very real definition of what the go along, get along gang is. Who is it? What organizations does it consist of? Let's start labeling it. Let's start putting names on it. Let's start calling people out as opposed to just saying names that you're scared to mention. All right, because we know Kwame Brown. And if you're a Kwame Brown fan and you know he's scared to say it on his platform, you can say it over here. You can start using real names. All right, just got to stop being scared to talk. He's scared to talk. He's already scared to talk about Kamala Harris. And we've seen her track record of locking up innocent black men. That's a fact. All right, as a prosecutor, she literally locked black men up that she knew were innocent because as a prosecutor, she was just going for a conviction rate, as what all prosecutors do. And she's just trying to elevate herself and move up in the political game. That's what she did. It's all documented. And even when documentation was brought in front of her, showing Kamala Harris, showing that these brothers were innocent, she didn't care to even readdress those cases because she just wanted to be right. So we know what type of woman she is. Like Kwame Brown, like you don't have to duck and hide behind that. We all know who she is. All right. Just as we talked yesterday, a lot of us have a real strong understanding of what ESPN really is. All right. We just look at it as entertainment. The same thing that at least I'm doing with Kwame Brown. For me, he's just entertainment. And it's starting to not be entertaining anymore. It's just starting to look like a distraction because this man's sitting in Georgia and on his channel, he says he's for the community, but he's yet one time to mention the Georgia voter suppression bill and the issues going on around that. But yeah, he wants to criticize LeBron James. But LeBron James is the only athlete that I know that is actively doing something which putting the movement together to go against the Georgia voter suppression bill. But Kwame Brown lives in Georgia and hasn't even mentioned it. He's only complaining about other black men. And again, you don't have to agree with everyone, but Jesus, we understand that you're mad at Matt Barnes. If you want to take out your 20 years of anger on those two brothers for all of the bashing that the white media did to you, go look it up. The Washington Post mentioned his name in a negative tone over 3,500 times in his 4-year time in Washington. I think that's a lot more than what Stephen A. Smith did. But yet you have not said one thing against the Washington Post. Or does he refer to the Washington Post as one of those organizations that he can't mention? So he says they or them or white zaddy or something weird where he never puts a label. What we have to do is we got to start identifying these people. All right, we got to. If there's an organization that you see something not right with them, call them out. Who cares? There's no repercussions to that. We got Coco Bean in here, and we got KJ. Salute to y'all for coming in. I'm gonna drop the link again. Well, let me hear from Coco Bean. Coco Bean, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Shit, you let me talk now.
Hold on, I'm gonna let you go, bitches. I just haven't seen Coco Bean in here before. I'm sorry about that. You gotta take yourself off mute, Coco Bean. All right, here, hold on. Big Chest, go ahead while Coco Bean gets the mute button figured out.
Yeah. No, my thoughts on the matter, it's really, with Kwame Brown and Karceno, it's a whole cavalcade of foolery, On some of Kwame's points about, when I forgot what video it was, when it was about, how when he was talking about how the media and how they portray black people, I understood and I agree with some of his points on, with that, him with Charlamagne the guy, Charlamagne the guy was out of pocket for what he said on his radio show, and he knows that. Stephen A. Smith, my thing is, with the whole Stephen A. Smith and the Matt Barnes, I'm like, okay, I understand that they bloviated and prognosticated the situation, but I'm like, are they lying? When he brings up that Stephen A. only attacks black people, I'm like, first of all, if you look at the videos, if you don't have any context, you're just thinking, oh, Stephen A's just attacking black athletes. They're just attacking, You know, he's just attacking black athletes. He don't care about the brothers. You know, his master from the ESPN corporates, you know, they saying, oh, say this about this black brother, black athlete. When that's not the case, you know, you look at the, you know, the Kwame Brown stuff. He even said when he was talking to Jalen Rose, I'm like, you pay in the NBA, like you have the ability to improve your game, but you don't. And you just can't, and it can't be all on Doug Collins. It can't be all on Michael Jordan, even though I know that had an effect. But you know, it can't be like that. And you know, it seems like he was upset. He's upset that his name has been used in memes, jokes, and everything. And you know, rightfully so. Even though his NBA career wasn't, you know, as he wanted to be, I believe no person should have to be lambasted, ridiculed, just utterly maligned for a decade after they retire from whatever, you know, for whatever career that they choose or they go into. I agree with that. He doesn't deserve that. But the fact that you have no applicable evidence, like you don't have no applicable evidence of him just specifically targeting, you know, black athletes. And if you want to say it, and he say, well, he doesn't do it with the white athletes. I'm like, have you seen his rants on Tim Tebow? I know he has the my friend thing, but when Tim Tebow was playing when he was playing as quarterback for the Denver Broncos, do they not remember the 25-minute rants he would go on debating Skip Bayless on how horrible that man was throwing the football? Did he not see the rants on Johnny Manziel, on I forgot the white baseball player that got caught lying about using steroids? I forgot his name.
Hold on, Big Chess. We got to get to some other people in the panel. I like what you was going with that, because we definitely got to get to LVZ. Before we get to LVZ, I want to get to Coco Bean. I want his thoughts on this. And before I go to Coco Bean, we got a comment right here from Portia Taylor, Claudia Portia Taylor, longtime subscriber.
I was looking at that right there too.
Yeah. Let me read. Hold on. Let me read it. Let me read it real quick. Let me read it to everybody. It says, yeah, you're wrong. It says, go along, get along gang is mainstream media and has an agenda to paint black men and black people in a certain light. So you've labeled the go along, get along gang as mainstream media. But unfortunately, again, if you label it that, and I'm waiting for the source of this go along, get along gang, because I've heard him refer to individual people. I've heard him refer to people outside of mainstream media as the go along, get along game. So does it mean mainstream media, or does it have another meaning, or is this a meaning you're just giving it to give Kwame Brown a real excuse? Because I've heard him use go along, get along game to describe anybody he doesn't like. That's a fact.
And hold on. He loves motherfucking Candace Owens. That's mainstream media.
Well, yeah.
Fox News is the number one prognosticator of news on TV. If he's following by that, that's mainstream media. Is that not going on again? That's your interpretation.
Hold on, Coco Bean, you got an echo in the background. So all you got to do is close your YouTube app and just leave the StreamYard open so I can unmute you so we can hear your thoughts on this conversation. But now go ahead and cook LVZ, because that's the same direction I was gonna go with.
Yeah,
this.
But I saw that, and I mean, please, I wish y'all stop superimposing y'all damn thoughts on what this man is doing, because that's bullshit. You trying to twist and turn what is to what isn't. He ain't a part of no motherfucker agenda to free no black men when he's literally done nothing but attack other black people. Only reason he started talking about Rachel Nichols because it's hot to jump on her right now. He's only been quiet about the white man, and it's plenty of bad shit he can say about them, and he ain't got nothing to say, sister. And while you sitting up there looking like Breonna Taylor, he'd have been sitting up there bashing you, calling you all types of hoes if you had more than one boyfriend. So stop it.
He's right about that, because like I said, he said if go along, get along gang is the mainstream media, he has shown support for people like Candace Owens, even Jesse Lee Peterson. Obviously, he had Judge Joe Brown on his show. He's part of the mainstream media. I mean, he's had certain people, and I agree with some of the things that Judge Joe Brown has to say. But even when Judge Joe Brown was on his show, I didn't like how he was trying to separate himself from Judge Joe Brown's viewpoints. If you agree with it, own it. But don't try to sit up here and separate yourself from the likes of anything. When he mentions the vice president, all of a sudden you look into the camera and say, "Oh, that wasn't me, YouTube. I'm separating myself from that." Like, are you scared? Like, did they shake you up that much in the NBA? Is that why you were so silent? Hold on, let me go to KJ. KJ's been in here waiting. KJ, what are your thoughts on that?
No, you can go to somebody else. I just want to piggyback.
All right, Antisocial, what's good?
What's down?
What's good? Have you been in, or are you just hopping in?
No, I'm just hopping in because I heard you talking about Kwame and Karceno, dog. Two coon ass niggas.
Thank you. Two tap dancing, one nigga with a big nose, and this sister right here. Where she come from out the blue?
No,
Hold
on. She's cool though. Portia's cool.
Like I tell you, you good, cool. But hey, let me tell you, love. Go back and listen to his videos before he actually got famous on YouTube. That's what you do. Go listen to his YouTube videos and his mindset where he was before all this Matt Barnes and all this Steven Jack shit. That's what you do, love. Because I went and did
He does a big Q drive. That shit ain't impressive to a nigga who got a motherfucking endorsement when he was playing basketball. And niggas need more than shoes.
Yes.
Niggas don't need no goddamn shoes. Niggas got enough shoes. Mm-hmm. I ain't impressed with goddamn shoes. You was a millionaire for all this time. We ain't see you do nothing. You talk about what he trying to do and ain't did a goddamn thing.
Right.
Look.
The man was up there. Hey, he was on Thomas Sotomayor's dick for a minute. Him and Thomas Sotomayor started beefing. He was real cool with Tommy until him and Tommy started beefing. People want to talk about but Tommy changed on him. Nah, Tommy ain't changed on him. He started beefing on Tommy because he started changing because the level of heightened of his I guess his fame that he got on YouTube. Nigga didn't know how to act. I told you he is more famous now than he's ever been playing basketball. And that's sad. You ain't never had no attention playing basketball. You was the butt of everybody's joke.
That's facts. Hold on. We got Mr. Winters in here. Now, Mr. Winters came in. I'm going to preface this by saying he started the live chat off. He said that Karceno and Kwame Brown are 100% correct about what they're saying. But again, there we see another one of those weird adjectives that kind of don't describe anything. I want to know, what are they saying that's so correct? Where are they leading us with this message or whatever message they have? Because I haven't heard a true message. I haven't heard a true calling. I've only heard him bash people that I've seen or seen try to do something. Like, for whatever you want to criticize LeBron James.
Hey, I agree with this nigga. And the reason that Jamil Calhoun is right, because we got coons like him as a part of it. That's why we lost. The minute we get rid of it.
Hold on, let me let Mr. Winters jump in on this real quick. Then I'm gonna go to King Styles. Go ahead, Mr. Winters.
What's up, Lamont? Salute to you, baby. You already know I got mad respect. I got mad love for you.
Oh, this is just debate, man. I just want to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah. It ain't nothing personal, but I do agree. Karceno4life, if you follow his playlist, he's been talking about this for the longest. And like I said, Kwame Brown's time was very, very perfect. Very perfect.
Okay, but talking about what exactly though? Talking about what? What is this?
How long everybody been saying stack a solid dude? Even when Kwame told you that he wasn't. And then this stuff happened with Rachel Nichols, what happens? He sided with her. Clearly. So was he lying?
Well, Kwame sided with YouTube when YouTube told him not to do something. So YouTube told him to be silent on certain things. He was silent on certain things. YouTube told him not to cuss in the first 2 minutes of his video. So the thing is, he sides with his employer because YouTube is his paycheck. He's siding with them just as much as Steven Jackson. I don't agree with Steven Jackson siding with her all.
Yeah, what the fuck do him and what do Steven Jackson? I mean, ain't nobody really saying stack a solid. I don't see a million people saying that. I see people who on the fence or not on. Yeah, but secondly, what did Kwame Brown save us from by telling us that? A lot of us had some difficulties with some shit that Steven Jackson said. But even if we didn't, what did Kwame Brown save us from by telling us that Stack ain't a solid dude?
Dude, no, it's not about saving nobody from nothing. The thing is,
Well, then, how is he for? Then why the fuck should me as a black man? Because I was just asking that question. I don't need to hear your whole babbling explanation. But bro, I didn't want to hear that explanation.
Nigga, I know you don't like me.
My question was, how does that help us? And you said no.
Hold on, let him respond. LVG.
That was the answer to my question. That was the answer.
Nigga, I need to get 3 words out of your bitch ass. Start talking. Relax. Let me.
Hold on, Mr. Winters. We can't do that. Let's not go there. Hold on, let me get LBZ, we gotta let him respond. Let's let him respond, and then
don't answer my question though.
Hold on, let me let him finish.
I ain't get 3 words out. You talking? Be quiet, bro.
Go ahead, Mr. Winters. Just finish. Come on, y'all. Let's stop we don't got to do the name calling, man. Let's go, Mr. Winters. Let's hear it.
Because Lamar, you already know this dude.
I ain't call this big Windex forehead Bama no name.
I know. I'm not talking to you. I was talking to Mr. Winters. I was referring to Mr. Winters. Come on, Mr. Winters.
You know he made a 2-hour video because he don't like me. That's why he cut me off. But
let's go, Mr. Winters. Let's get to it though. We got to get to it.
I don't even know you, nigga. You anonymous.
All right, let's go.
You broke dance and love to wear tap shoes.
Lamar, can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr.
Tell your guard, though. All right. Now, he asked, it's not about saving nobody from nothing, but he told you what the go along, get along gang is. You go along to get along. You go along with whatever, even if it goes against you. If they bash a black person, you jump on it and do the same thing to save your job or to keep your job.
Okay.
And that's exactly what he did.
This brings us to, because you also made a comment. This brings me to another point that you made. You said that when I mentioned that antisocial ether, Kwame, in that I call it debate, but obviously they were having a conversation. You talk about the go along, get along game. Now your definition was different from Claudia's. You basically said it's somebody who just goes along to get along. What did Kwame do when he was in the NBA? When people were talking against him all of those years, did he stay silent just so he can keep collecting paychecks? He didn't want to risk his job. Did he go along to get along when he was in the NBA? And now he's talking, now that he's almost 20 years removed from the NBA, now he can say something without his NBA check or NBA money being jeopardized. I mean, did he go along to get along then? Because Antisocial called him out about that. He really didn't have a rebuttal. So is he also part of the go along, get along game? Because I see him doing the same thing with YouTube. He's watching what he says. He's watching what he does. He's kind of going along to get along. He's avoiding certain topics that really need to be spoken on. What is your rebuttal for Kwame Brown on that?
Because he was in the, okay, when you talking NBA, right? There's difference between NBA and personal. It was of the opinion of all those NBA people when he was in the league that he wasn't very good. They didn't take personal shots at him. So, okay, they're going to criticize you. He did it. He went on ahead and went along with it. So, I mean, that's one thing because it's professional. It's professional. When he got on that All the, and you got to pay attention and listen. When they got on that All the Smoke podcast with Jenny Buss, the woman said his name, and Matt Barnes tapped Jack and said that was a one-man trade. That's personal. So he's so insignificant. He had a part in that trade. Whether anybody thinks he's great at basketball or not. I mean, ancillary rotational players get traded all the time for cap move, you know, to even up the cap, or because at the time Kwame Brown was an expiring contract, and that's what Memphis was looking for, expiring contracts to get money off the books. That's why he was added in.
So Mr. Winters, so what we call that at the NBA level, a player like Kwame in that trade is considered filler. He's not a very viable player. You don't consider him a player that you're actually going to use. He's just in the trade to make the trade work. And this is why Stephen Jackson and Matt Barnes was like, it was really a one-person trade. So, but you have to understand that Kwame took offense to that.
Right. That's where the problem lies. That's where the problem lies. I don't want people to get lost in. That's where the problem lies. You can mention that if she mentioned that man's name, and she's the owner. She's the owner. She was involved in that or that whole deal. She mentioned that man's name. To sit there and try to say that man's name is so irrelevant and so insignificant that you don't have to mention that man's name, that's personal. That's personal, and that's how he took it.
Man,
That's
that's
nothing to do with
basketball
basketball.
related. That ain't personal.
Hold on.
That's how he took it, though. You can't tell him, man. You can't tell him how to feel. That's how he took it. That's how he took it, and that's how he take it.
Hey, Mr.
And that's
Leonard,
that.
I appreciate that thought. I want to Claudia just hopped in. I want to get her thoughts as well because, and like I said, y'all, look, I invite people who have a difference of opinion in here because like I said, I'm trying to figure out what this go along, get along gang is because I think it's just the guys to entertain and it's not really bringing anything very insightful. This is why I said
all it is, Lamar. It's a big waste of time for a bunch of big waste of time girl ass niggas who like gossip and a bunch of motherfucker sisters who like to watch motherfucker basketball housewives because motherfuckers completely skimmed over the fact that it's going along to get along to agree with Fox News.
it's true.
Hey guys, how you doing?
How you doing, Claudia?
Can you
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, the reason I say, okay, the mainstream media, everybody knows that, if you say certain things, jobs are at risk. If you go to strip clubs that got midgets dancing behind you, you're going to get fired. There's a whole lot of things. Of course, Kwame, when he was playing basketball, didn't speak up for what was happening to him because, of course, he does got to collect a check and support his family at the end of the day, right? Everybody, when you work in corporate America or work at any job, you have to go along to get along. Now, the thing is Kwame didn't say, I'm going to be the savior of black folks. Kwame said there's a whole lot of NBA players who sit there and, BLM and raise their fists, but they really don't do anything tangible for the community. You know what I'm saying? It's like this dude is trying to put in youth centers in his district. He's done more than shoe drives, by the way. And like his own people is the ones tearing him down the most. It's like there's a lot of people that you listen to. You don't agree with 100% of what they say. It's like the Joe Brown incident. You might not agree with 100% of what they say, but that certain percentage you believe is the truth. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard interviews and stuff be like, well, he lost me on this one, but I do agree with such and such there.
But Claudia, I'm gonna push back. I'm not here to tear down Kwame Brown. I'm here because when I watch his videos, I see two opposing views. I see him saying, let's not tear down black men, but that's all he does in every video. And I'm just trying to get understanding. Okay, what's your whole point? Because I see you pointing fingers. You keep saying they, them, go along, get along, gang, but it has no real definition. But like you putting a message out that's kind of empty, and it's not really.
No, because we know the narrative that the mainstream media puts on black men, and if you do, there's many of compilations of Stephen A. Smith saying one thing one way on a particular topic. If there's a white guy addicted to drugs, that's an athlete, as opposed to a black man addicted to drugs, that's an athlete. He's putting more extras on it and is more stringent towards the black athlete than he is towards the white athlete. I'm talking about comparing apples and apples, not oranges and apples.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. The one thing that I've seen is I think the people closest to you are going to be harsher on you when you do something wrong than someone that's not. Again, like I say, if I'm going to scold, like my dad would probably scold me. My dad was a teacher before he passed. He would scold me much harder for not passing the class or doing something incorrectly in school, as opposed to how he would handle his students in class. And he had a lot of white students. He wouldn't scold them the way I didn't expect him to go scold them the way he would scold me. If I'm doing something wrong in school, fella, he's going to scold me to a much higher degree of scrutiny than he would them because it's closer to home. He wants to see the best. So sometimes when people are tougher on you, it's not always. And that's why I say sometimes when you get into your feelings to some degree, you miss the real message. And sometimes when people are harder on you, it's for the better. Those are the things for me that make you stronger. Is we can't coddle people.
Stephen A. Smith was going around to those colleges and going around to those high schools and telling them stories about Kwame Brown because they were trying to create the one and done rule.
But Claudia, the one thing that Kwame Brown fails to tell people about his basketball career, and the reason why he's a great example for young NBA players, is when he came into the league. What doesn't he tell you about when he came into the league? I've talked about it on my channel. He doesn't tell you about when he came into the league because he never worked hard on the basketball court before, and it was just so easy for him. He had sports-induced asthma when they started to actually work him hard to get him up to the NBA speed. He would get dark circles under his eye. They thought something was wrong with him seriously. They sent him to a doctor, and the doctor just said, look, his lungs are underdeveloped. He's never worked this hard in his life. So and then on top of that, Wes Unseld, a black GM, what did Wes Unseld say? He said the man, and again, this could be true or false, but Wes Unseld has been highly credible. Wes Unseld said the man was, if he showed up to practice, he would show up late, and when he got there, he would not work hard. I think those things will play a factor in your failures as well. So if Stephen A is using,
but you can't use him as fodder to deter athletes. It didn't happen to Kobe. It didn't happen to LeBron. It didn't happen to none of those others that came out of high school.
I'm not justifying it because I've seen a lot of NBA players come in with bad organizations, bad circumstances, but still find a way to be great in this league. When you look at Kwame Brown's situation, again, he said it's not about basketball, but even in a recent interview that he did on that lady show who drinks all the wine, even on that show, he was talking about how if you look at the analytics, I was a really good player. And I said, so hold on. You told Antisocial in the head-to-head debate it's not about basketball. But whenever you go on any other platform, you're talking about how the analytics really show you were good at basketball. But you admitted to Antisocial, you were bad at basketball. You're contradicting yourself because you say one thing to Anti, then you go on another platform really trying to prove to us you were a really good basketball. We don't know the game.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it was 14, 15 years, and he made $64 million. He was doing something right.
I didn't say he was. I didn't say he wasn't a good journeyman in the league.
He said himself he wasn't good at the game. I
openly say, look, he was a journeyman. We need journeymen in the NBA. But to say he lived up to the billing of a number one pick, no, he was a bust as a number one pick. Now, did he have a decent career, made good money? Yeah, so did Andrew Bogut. So did a lot of players who didn't live up to their lottery pick status. That doesn't take away from the fact that they were bust to a certain degree because they didn't live up to that billing. On top of the fact that he's more scrutinized as a number one pick because he was drafted by the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. As a number one pick by Michael Jordan to be a failure, with people always looking to find any failures or slights in Michael Jordan, they're going to pass that slight down to Kwame Brown. You're a part of Jordan's legacy. So that means you're going to get talked about more.
Even though he was drafted to set up something else. It wasn't drafted for
himself. It wasn't drafted to set up. The thing is, trades happen every day in NBA. You have to be ready to pack your bags up and go. That's part of the league. So the fact that he's running around saying that, I wasn't supposed to be here, I was going to get traded, that doesn't take away from the fact you had a poor work ethic, and GMs, not just with the Washington Wizards, but even with the Lakers, said you had poor work ethic and you didn't put in a lot of work, and this is why you didn't get a lot of output on the court. And we saw it. I mean, don't blame me. All we have to do is look at the output on the court when he was given an opportunity.
Yeah, but my thing is like, why keep talking about it after 20 years? This man ain't been in the league.
Okay, let me ask you, Claudia,
to get the one and done rule.
Claudia, let me ask you, when was the last time before Kwame Brown brought this stuff up? Before Kwame Brown brought this stuff up,
the last time you heard Stephen A. Smith say something?
When was the last time Stephen A. said anything about Kwame Brown?
Facts. The man hadn't said his name in years. Facts.
I just want to know because he brought Stephen A. up out of the blue as if it was something recent.
Facts. It wasn't recent
because he was the leader of it. He was the leader
during the one and done when they were trying to change the one to people.
Hold on. That's a lie. The Washington Post was the ringleader of it. They mentioned his name in a negative connotation over 3,000 times in 4 years, just downing him in the media. But yet he never mentioned any white writer. His teammates even say one of the biggest reasons he didn't have a lot of success in Washington is because of Doug Collins, the white coach. But yeah, he barely brings his name up when he talks about his failures in the league. He talks more on Jordan and all these other things and other things, especially black players being his fault.
Well, I do know that he has mentioned that his kids are older. Look, he has mentioned that his kids are older. His son is 16. Like, his kids actually have to hear this stuff now. Like, at what point is enough enough?
They're not going to stop. But hold on. Kwame Brown is forever going to be known as one of the biggest busts of all time. That's just his legacy. That's just basketball, though. So he needs to do a job with his kids of explaining, look,
and
that's just my career.
That's just my career. And white players that are the same.
And what did Stephen A. Smith call them? Do y'all ever remember him saying Slava Medvedenko?
I think it's Thiago
Rasho Nesterovic.
Exactly.
What, in 2006?
Hold on. No, he talked about them all along with Kwame Brown. And if you listen to his diatribe about Anthony Bennett, you know, that's even worse than anything he's done to Kwame Brown. So again, let's not just act like he's singling out Kwame, because he's on multiple occasions talked about all of these guys that have been labeled as bust as the number one pick, and he's joked about it. He's entertained to a certain degree about it. Remember, don't gloss over. Don't gloss over.
Kwame is going to use his platform to help his community and to elevate like he's been doing without a large platform. Okay, and he's going to continue to do what he does.
Elevating would be, again, how can you elevate when you're constantly denigrating the next black man?
Exactly. You still beating on Stephen A.
But if the next black man make it personal, come on.
Mention his name first.
Hold on, Mr. Winters. Hold on, Mr. Winters.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let me ask you.
Hold on, Anti. Let me let Claudia respond, and I'm gonna go right back to you, Anti. I want her answer. I just want her answer to that last question.
What was the question?
I just want to know with regards to Kwame Brown. You know, and all of these so-called attack, like why is he continuously attacking other black people, or black men in the media?
Besides Stack 5 and Matt Barnes and Charlamagne the God, the other people are. I mean, if they made a video about him, like I think Hip Hop Unlocked and stuff like that, and I don't know any other black people that
I'm talking about the Bomani Jones. When he went after the Chicago sports writer, I forget his name. When he went after LeBron James, said his school was fake. That's going after other black men, tearing down what they're doing. And LeBron is
he went at Rob Parker, went at Chris.
Yeah, he went Rob Parker.
Well, we do know that. I'm glad LeBron started a school, but he's really at that school in name only. There's other people in another organization that actually put the school together.
It was Nike.
So it's not about the school being fake. Hold on. Not LeBron.
Hold on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's whose name. That school isn't anything if it's not backed by LeBron. On top of the fact.
No, I totally understand. That's what I said.
On top of the fact,
I'm glad the school is there.
On top of the fact that, let me tell y'all this, because a lot of people don't know, is one thing I want to say is I've seen kids from his school here at Grand Canyon University who have full scholarships directly funded by LeBron James. So whatever you say, there's something beneficial coming out of there, because the kids who graduate are leaving with full scholarships to go to whatever school, and not just college, any trade school, if they just want to get a trade that they want to go to. But nobody talks about
that. There's nothing wrong with that. But y'all can't limit what Kwame's trying to do in his own community neither.
Too many people talking.
But people are misinformed. He was saying that people are misinformed.
How are people misinformed? How is people misinformed when he's the one that said LeBron ain't doing shit? His school is fake.
Because it's not his school.
Okay, so
because it's not his school, he funded the most. Okay, he funded the most money, and they named the school after him. He is not in charge of anything that goes on. He does no hiring, no fund.
Okay, y'all missing the point right there. Because again, hold on. Let me go to Anti, because I told I was gonna go to Anti, and then I want to go to King Styles, because I think he's been patiently waiting. Then we got T Streets and we got MLE, so we got a lot of people that want to go, and I know y'all want to get y'all takes in.
Yeah, Miss Claudia, I got a question. You're talking about Stephen A. Smith, basically calling him a bust in the meeting, right? And he was doing all this, right? Let me ask you a question. When Kobe did it, why y'all didn't kill Kobe for it then? Why he ain't say nothing about Kobe then? Kobe did it in the media, and he said the same reason. Hold on. Kobe said the same way I said it to you, I said it to him. So it is what it is. He know how I feel about it. But y'all don't say nothing about Kobe. You know why he ain't gonna say nothing about Kobe? Because Kobe dead. And he know what exactly gonna happen to his channel. He start talking about a dead man.
Talking about a basketball situation.
Hold on, Mr. Winters. Mr. Winters, hold on. Mr. Winters. The last time I checked, Stephen A. Smith was only talking about basketball too.
Right. That's one thing I wanted to say, bro. Hold on. That nigga is talking about NBA history. Every player that made it to
hold on. We gotta go in order, y'all. Hold on. MLE, I'm gonna come to you, but Antisocial just went. I gotta go to King Styles because he's been waiting patiently, and then I'm gonna go to MLE after him. King Styles, what you got?
All right, fellas, salute,
man.
All right. at first I was with Kwame. He was cool because he was clapping back at people who were clapping at him for years. I understood
Facts.
that as a man, you gotta defend yourself.
Yes.
So
I'm
I
with
was
that
cool with
too.
that. But
I'm
then
with
he
that too.
started making up bullshit. He coming with fake drama, making
Yes.
drama situations, and that shit is pissing me off. Like
Yes.
he's basically trying to grow his platform and make money. Period. Like that shit with Dr. Boyce Watkins. Like all the other shit, at least it was something relatable. But this man wasn't doing nothing but telling him, like, all right, it's certain things you need to follow. It's good you build your platform. It's good you clapping back at people, but you
Yeah.
need to start watching yourself, making sure YouTube doesn't take down your channel. And this
Yeah.
motherfucker sat here and put on a hit parade before that video was even over on him. Like he doesn't even know what the fuck he was talking about. And everybody talking about mama's cooking, just like I seen in this chat. Mama's cooking already. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's the go
Mama's
along, get
cooking.
along
Yeah,
game.
mama's
At
cooking.
the end of the goddamn day, everybody at mama's cooking. Soon as somebody mentioned Kwame Brown name, mama's cooking.
That's
Like,
sad.
get the fuck out of here, man. Like, and shoe drives, I know regular
I
people
fuck
that
with
do
it.
shoe drives. Let's be real. Regular, normal, 9 to 5 ass people. Like, what is that doing for the community? That's not doing much, man. That's some material shit. Kids need education. They need to learn coding. As Lamont said, he needs to put programs and shit like that out there.
That's why
So
he has
they
a
can
$2.5
understand the
million
skill that's going to
project
help.
purchasing a building to do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Facts. I was just finna say that. Whoever said
Okay.
that, I was
Well,
just finna say that.
hold on.
Okay,
Well, the
so
last
now
time I
since
checked,
everybody been
King
criticizing you,
Styles.
finally
Let
got
me
smart
stop
to
right
start
there
doing it.
because hold on. Here's the problem. Right here's the problem with that because last year I got on people like Kyrie Irving because they kept coming with a whole bunch of plans and promises, and I never saw anything tangible. Because I said the NBA players, when they could have boycotted, they had the power to make the NBA literally do whatever they wanted to get them to play and finish the season out because there was so much money on the line. Yet the players didn't ask for community centers. They didn't ask for anything tangible, scholarships, anything. They got slogans, T-shirts, and then they also got a promise for more conversations from Adam Silver. I did a video on it. Everybody laughed at me, called me a coon because I was talking about Kyrie Irving because he was one of the ringleaders of this nonsense that was asking the NBA for basically nothing. So when I hear people talk about they have a plan for a building, you know what I hear? I hear Dr. Umar Johnson. That's what I hear. I see nothing yet. You come with a finished product and then we can talk. But until then, it's just a plan that don't mean shit, just the same as Kyrie Irving. So let me go to MLE. I know he's been trying to get in on this. MLE, what are your thoughts?
I'm saying like, there's a lot of hypocrisy with Kwame Brown fans, and that shit is crazy. But I want to say one thing about the NBA shit. Like when they bring up other players, same way they bring up the greats. You part of NBA history, bro. They got every right to criticize your fucking game. And if anybody mad about that, don't talk about Jordan. Then. Why you keep bringing up Jordan? He been out of the league for X amount of years. Like that don't make sense. The NBA analysts, it's basketball. Man got in his feelings that you was a bust. Now you want to explain why you was a bust? Cool. You just wasn't mentally tough or your game wasn't ready for it. It's plenty of other players who went through the same shit. Stop crying. Now you got these niggas, these Kwame Brown fans is like Trump supporters. Y'all talking about he trying to do this, he trying to do that, he doing this, doing that, and then say, oh, it don't count because LeBron don't own the whole school. What the fuck? That's stupid. And then agree with Candace Owens, but Kwame Brown trying to help the black community, and you see Owens is against the fucking black community. Y'all niggas crazy. That's all I wanted to say. Y'all make sense at all. Hypocrites.
Hold on, Miss Winter, we're gonna come back to you. I appreciate your take, MLE. We're gonna go to Tayshaun Holmes, T Streets, man. He's in here. What are your thoughts? Yes, sir.
What up? Salute to the panel, man. What's good, Anti? I just feel like, man, that shit that Kwame was pulling, man, that shit lame to me, bro. Like, I understand you sticking up for yourself. Say what you got to say and move on. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep dragging the shit out. Now it looks like you just got like another agenda. And as far as like, I peeped out his old videos. He has some good messages as far as him feeling like the media try to emasculate like the man and like trying to push his feminine agenda. But other than that, as far as you attacking black men, like why is you not want to come together with people? Like if you got a disagreement with somebody, it's okay to have a disagreement and talk that shit out. But just try to come together so everybody can be on one accord. And if you trying to make the black community better, just do that. But don't try to criticize the next black man because they don't agree with what you got going. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like this shit that he doing, this shit just lame, man.
I kind of agree to a certain extent. It's just got to a point where, again, when it first started, look, I even made a video about it. I said, you know what? Salute to that man for stepping up, finally coming out and saying something. Okay, but he got that over with. And I even said it. I said, hold on. When you start to analyze the people that he's targeting, all the people that he targets have a big social media following. This is why I said clout chasing on the title of my video. All the people that really hurt his career, all of the white men that really hurt his career, whether on the court or off the court, he's scared to talk about them. Right? He targets only people. Charlamagne the God, big social media following. Steven Jackson, big social media following. Matt Barnes, 1 million followers on Instagram. He targets him. And he constantly repeats through a cycle of videos. He repeats through a cycle of videos where he's talking about these three primarily. Then he switches over to Bomani Jones here or there. Now he's talking about Rachel Nichols because it's trending topic right now. Okay, when is he going to start taking his aim and ire at people like Doug Collins, talking about coaches like that don't need to be hired again in the NBA? But yet he's not mentioned, he's not talked about that. When he's going to talk about the Washington Post and all of the articles that those white writers wrote about him, way more than the Stephen A. Smith did. But he hasn't. Hold on. How did you know the Washington Post didn't say anything personal about Kwame Brown and you haven't read one Washington Post article?
Listen.
See, that's what I'm saying. Don't come and talk to me when you haven't done your research, because I have. So I know for a fact they got personal with him. Going as far as they also talked about his dad having a murder. They talked about his upbringing and how his upbringing directly related to his poor performance on the court. They said that in the Washington Post. I hear you, D. Reed. I'm going to put you on mute because you got some background noise. I'm going to get to you here in a second. But so let's not act like Stephen A. Smith got his personal as the Washington Post got with him. But he did not say anything to the Washington Post, and all you have to do is go do your homework and do your research on it. He didn't say anything about Wes Unseld. Wes Unseld came at him and talked about his work ethic, but it's not. There's no social media following behind Wes Unseld. He went at people like Dr. Boyce Watkins, who has a following on YouTube. He went at people with following. He's going at Tommy Sotomayor, who we all know who has a following on YouTube. Tell me somebody that he's going at.
Everybody.
Doesn't matter.
He disrespects
that Tommy Sotomayor disrespects everybody, and I was still able to go on his platform, even though I don't agree with him, and have a viable conversation. And I can actually, just because I disagree with him, doesn't mean I can't be cool with him. That's what I'm saying. Too many people that disagree with Kwame turned into his enemies because of his fan base. And remember what I told y'all what fans were. What does the FAN mean? Fake ass niggas. That's what fans are. I don't have fans. I have supporters and subscribers. All right, you can be a fan, Mr. Winters, because I know for a fact when Kwame Brown's buzz fades, you as a fan will not be on that bandwagon any longer. Let me go to Coach Chase. Hopefully I said that right. Coach Chase. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, perfect. So I really got a couple of things I really want to touch on. But the one thing I want to start on, everybody keeps saying that he's going at a lot of black people, or black men, should I say. But he's only really going at people who talk about him. If you go down the timeline, and that's what he's really focusing on. So if you go down the timeline, he started with Matt and Steve, right? So if nobody else would have said anything, he wouldn't have said anything else about anybody else, right? And then who jumped in? Charlamagne. So Charlamagne got it.
Right.
And then who came in after Charlamagne? Stephen A.
No, right? Jamel Hill, actually.
Yeah, Jamel Hill. She did a
Stephen A didn't say anything.
Well, he did. That's true. And then, but if you follow the
so they killed your fucking argument then.
No, he didn't. He was the point of reference. He said it started with Stephen A. Smith, and then Stephen A. Smith took it personal.
Hold on, Mr. Winters. But you already have said that Kobe only kept it basketball. So did Stephen A. Smith. You have to give Stephen A. Smith that. Even in Stephen A. Smith's rebuttal, he kept it basketball. So let's not say it's just about basketball, because there's two very clear people, Kobe and Stephen A. Smith, who both denigrated him basketball-wise, but you choose to single out Stephen A. Smith because he has a social media following. You can't talk about Kobe right now because it's not very profitable. Talking about Kobe is not profitable. Hold on, let Coach Cheese finish. My bad. I didn't mean to cut into Coach Cheese.
No, you good. I mean, I like the back and forth. I mean, because you can see how the mindset is different depending on if you like him or not. You know, I think a lot of people like Kwame.
Everything that you said, we all agree with in the beginning. We had no problem with how he was attacking people. I made a video. We was with him. Look, we all agreed in the beginning, but it gets to a point where, okay, when I see you recycling the same arguments, okay, when you see that it's profitable to start saying Becky with the good hair in every video, when you doing it, when you dragging it on and on, like you trying to drag it now. So now you're dragging it. So what's the point of still dragging it? When you gonna get to real solutions?
He addressed that too, and you know, like if I start a YouTube channel, I'll be new to it too, and you wouldn't know all the different people out there.
His YouTube channel was not new.
Hold on, whoever that is talking. This is what I'm saying.
Hold on, let Coach Cheese finish, y'all. Let Coach Cheese finish. I want to hear what he got to say.
Yeah, so if you start in you know, the YouTube channel and you're going in, I kind of thought this is what I was going to say when old dude jumped in. But the main thing is with Kwame, he focuses on people who talks about him. And he even said, look, the way this YouTube is, people only gravitate to channels because of drama. He said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in some hee ha ha, some Becky with the good hair, some CB4s. I'm going to keep throwing in there because y'all like that. And while y'all are here for the fun and games, I'm going to drop some jewels. And y'all need to take that and listen to that. But the only way for people to really watch is to listen to some type of
Coach Cheese,
foolery, what to speak.
So Coach Cheese, so you're basically saying the only way he can get his messages across is to continue to drag black men?
That's exactly what you're saying. That's exactly what he's saying.
I'm just saying, why can't he make up names for Doug Collins and drag Doug Collins? Why can't he make up names for people like the Washington Post, which is part of supposedly the media go along, get along? How come he doesn't just drag them and make it funny? Why is he constantly dragging the black men?
So let me ask you this: so
because they just told a background story, they didn't say that's why he's crazy.
Since that Up in the Smoke podcast, which, and you know, he came out about 3 years ago when there was a meme about Kobe doing 67 points and he did one. He was like, "What are you talking about? My job." When he came in the game, Kobe basically was saying like, "I'm shooting. I'm about to go get me a whole bunch of points," and the coach told him to set screens to get Kobe open. He did his job. So he came out a couple years ago, you know, blasting people for memes and stuff like that. But my thing is, after the podcast came out, he focused on everybody that had something to say to him. So if Doug Collins came out and was on the news and said something to him, I'm sure he would say something.
But Coach Cheese, that's not true, because I can name a number of people that had nothing to say about him, and he opened his mouth to say something about them, like LeBron. Like Bomani Jones.
People about LeBron.
Yeah, but LeBron did some ill shit though. LeBron did some ill shit.
But what did
hold on, let me go to D, because we got two new people in here. I want to make sure they get their voice in.
Yeah,
we got D Reed. Salute. I haven't seen you in before, man. Salute, man. I appreciate. Let's hear your thoughts on it.
First time.
Yes,
What's
sir.
going on, panel?
What's good? What are your thoughts on this, man?
Man, at the end of the day, I just feel like it's a bunch of high school shit. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? As far as like what Kwame got going on, from Steven Jackson to Matt Barnes, them going back and forth, like they talk about, black empowerment, you know what I'm saying? And all this, we gotta stick together. But every time I look on social media, they throwing shots at each other, subliminal shots. So it's like the situation, I feel like, will never be resolved, because now it's money involved in this shit. Kwame see I can make money off this slogan, Mama's cooking and Becky with the good hair and all that shit. He profiting off this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like his YouTube went from 30,000 followers to damn near 200,000 in like a month. So
that's true.
We know what it's about. It's about money at the end of the day. Like regardless of his message, like he might be putting out the right message, you know what I'm saying, in certain videos, but at the end of the day, we know it's all about money, man. And it's sad too, because people like. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go finish up, D Reed, because I got to go best fighter after you.
I was just gonna say, like, at the end of the day, like people like us, like we know what's going on. We know what the deal is, but like to masses, you know what I'm saying? It's just like some more drama to be involved in. Oh, look at him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't approve of it on either side.
Yeah, and that's a fair assessment right there. I can't knock that. Big chest. I mean, not big chest, but best fighter. What you got on this?
Kwame fake as hell. That's what I got on it.
He lame.
People, Kwame fake as hell. Why everybody fans of Kwame? They want fans of him.
Let him go. Let him finish, y'all. Let him finish.
Why everybody want to jump on the Kwame?
Oh, my bad. I actually muted best fighter.
My mom was cooking that. He like a Rain Man. He just keep repeating himself. Shit ain't funny. He keep going after black men. At first, I subscribed to his channel because he was speaking fast, and then he just became repetitive. So I just stopped watching his content. I don't really, and the whole shit James did with Anti, that shit wasn't cool either. Talking about he a coon, this, that, 'cause he got 2 jobs, and he gonna side with Kwame. But once you call Kwame a bum,
That's not what he
before he
said.
came on the
That's not
show,
what he was saying. Not what James was saying.
Okay, now hold on, Mr. Winters. You've shown in a very poor example of analyzing videos. If you're gonna tell you what James said, you better come correct because I know the facts on it.
that is what James said.
Now, hold on, Mr. Winters.
I'm
Let's
say,
reiterate.
no. That's not what it was. What he said was okay. Listen. It's a different walk of life. My job. Listen. I work a regular job. I'm a regular dude.
Who said this?
You know what I'm saying? No, let me finish. Let me put the example. He was saying that Kwame Brown, his walk of life is different. He can't just respond to somebody and just go off on somebody because he is a guy that's in a different walk that can get him fired. Versus a guy like Anti who made work, who made, I guess Anti's a chef. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. I ain't saying nothing bad about nobody's job, but Anti can go punch somebody and keep his job tomorrow. Kwame Brown can't. That's what James was explaining.
They will fire the shit out of Anti. They will fire the shit out of Anti.
If I go punch somebody, nigga, in my job, nigga, I'm fired. What you talking about?
Come on, man, don't do that.
I'm saying, I just said you punch somebody on your job. I said if you get into a fight, if you off the clock and you just get into a fist fight, ESPN not gonna report on that. Fox ain't gonna report on that. You ain't gonna get on the news for that. It's gonna be a regular fight. It's gonna be over with, and that's that.
That's assault.
Versus Kwame Brown, who if he punch somebody and hit somebody, that can make that. You see guys lose their job all the time about that.
Let me let these go. Hold on. Hold on.
Let me get it right quick. Because you're talking about me, what happened with me and James. Let me tell you something right quick, bro. Hold up. When James, this is the thing that got me with that situation, even though I'm done with it, dog.
Yeah.
When James said that, bro, James know me behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of fucked up that he brought my personal life into something that me and Kwame was talking about, having a debate about something that had about on YouTube. It was nothing personal with me and James, or it wasn't even personal with Kwame. You know what I'm saying? I had nothing but respect for that man. Even when I talked to him, I wasn't even trying to come at Kwame disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of weird that you saying that. Then on top of that, you said if you've been listening to James long enough, how I listen to James always say, nigga, I don't care what you do for me, I'm not selling out for no bag. That's been James' preference ever since he's been on the show. Yeah. He always said he ain't selling out for no bag. So you mean to tell me all of a sudden you cool with a nigga who didn't want to say nothing because of what? He was protecting what? That bag. That's why he wasn't saying that back in the day, because he was protecting his bag.
He just agreed with
but he went against his morals and what he's been saying on the show to agree with Kwame.
Yes, that's true.
No, he didn't. He said
no,
he didn't.
Hold on, Mr. Winters. Mr. Winters, I got to stop you right there because I not only did I play and pause the tape very clearly, and I also repeated it in my video. The first thing that James said, actually, he did it within about 60 seconds, which was funny because I always say if you let people talk long enough, they eat to themselves. What he said, Kwame, I'm proud that he said, I know you had to, keep your mouth closed so you can get that paycheck. And if saying something would jeopardize your job. But then after he was done talking to Kwame, just saying that, he said, understand why you kept your mouth shut just to get a paycheck. He says to Anti, when he gets in a heated argument with Anti, he says, fuck the money. It's about my respect. So is it fuck the money about my respect, or is it about staying quiet, getting to the bag? Because he told Kwame one thing, then he told Anti his true colors came out when he got mad.
Mr. Winters, if you've been knowing James, how long we've been knowing James, James is very adamant about not selling out for no
This is
bag.
the first time I heard somebody trying to defend James Hayes, y'all. This is the first.
James
this has been YouTube first.
bro. He never said
I understand.
What James did to Anti, that's fucked up.
Hey, I would just ask you this.
Can I answer? Let me answer.
Bees, what up, bro?
No, I don't want you to answer because you ain't James. So you shouldn't be answering for James.
That's facts, too.
But y'all speaking up for everybody else. Come on, they asked me a question. Bees, come on, dog. Don't do that, bro.
Hold on, Mr. Winters. Bees hasn't won yet. Bees hasn't won yet. Let's let Bees go.
Anti was in the conversation. He knows where he was coming from. He knows where James was coming from. All you gonna tell me is your interpretation. I done heard that already. My question to you, if Kwame is such a stand-up guy and he's going after all these people that wronged him, why the fuck he wait 12 years?
Fact.
Okay. And what I'm telling you I'm telling you why.
Why?
Okay. Listen. He said that all that stuff about basketball, because that's what people were saying about it. Basketball is professional. He didn't mind that. Stephen A. was saying that for years. Skip saying that for years. But when you sit there on when Jimmy Buss went on that show, he explained this 100 times. And named him in that trade.
Yeah.
And Matt Barnes said that that was a one-man trade and tried to make it seem like he was such so insignificant.
Matt Barnes didn't say that. Jack said that.
Hold on.
Let me finish.
Hold on.
He mentioned his name as a man in that.
Hold on, Mr. Winters.
Can I talk, bro?
Hold on. Is a trade not basketball?
Fact.
Yes, it's in the business.
Talking out
Yes.
of your mouth, bro.
Bro, let me talk, bro. Damn.
Go ahead, Mr. Winters.
Like I said, when you talk about a guy, okay, like he said, if he would have said, like my man, like Lamont said, he was a filler in that trade. If Matt Barnes would have said, okay, that's a filler, that's a term, okay. But to say that that's a one-man trade to make it seem like he, as a man, he's so insignificant that you don't mention that man's name. He took it personal, and you can't tell him how to. You cannot sit up and tell that man how to feel about that.
Or Mr. Winters.
You're right. But why you all up in arms about it, nigga?
No, hold on. Mr. Winters, here's the problem.
You ain't Kwame,
The thing is why you be on the Bronx nuts, nigga.
See, that's my point. You defended Kwame, and in the same breath, you denigrate LeBron. You a hypocrite. That's all you are.
I did not denigrate LeBron. I said you on LeBron's nuts. I said nothing wrong about LeBron. Listen.
You can't even put.
I said you on his nuts. That's not denigrating LeBron.
Hey, as Cameron.
You can't.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let's get back to it because here's my thing.
As Kevin Samuels would say, you can't make this shit up.
You can't make this shit up.
You can't make this shit up.
Lamont, I just joined not too long ago.
Hold on. Jared Clark. Hey, Jared Clark is here. I forgot. Go ahead, Jared. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna tell you right now. Kwame Brown is lame. Okay, it has no attack to be on him as a man or nothing like that. I mean, like you said, man, the basketball. Let's just be real. Go check the stats. The man was not good. Okay, whatever happened. We don't know what happened. It's a lot of tall dudes who went to the league and it didn't pan out. So I'm a big YouTube guy. I follow a lot. I follow the culture. So I've seen his YouTube videos, and to be honest, bro, I have not clicked on one of them. Not one. Because of the captions or whatever, or it's just like you said, man, he only going at the black dudes, and it's just something I don't mind it. Like, because we see in every different industry how people try to exploit different things and the culture, and the main black dude, they try to blame everything on him and all. So I don't blame him for doing it. It's just a lame ass tactic, bro. And if you go back and see this man play, the man lame, dog. Nigga 7 feet tall and didn't score no points. He lame, dog. Let's just leave it at that. The dude is lame, bro. Like, you got it, like you said, man. He been had that YouTube video. I don't want nobody to think that the man just made that, bro. He been had
a YouTube. He had a YouTube for like 3 years.
No one cared, because it's fucking Brown.
Let me call out these cash apps real quick. We got Claudia Taylor. Salute to Claudia in the cash app with the donation to the channel, and then Darnell with the cash app. Salute to Claudia and Darnell in the cash app. Salute to you guys.
But can we talk about how they switched up and now they Kwame Brown fanboys? Like they on his side now?
Well, here's the thing. Well, my thing is, look, Kwame Brown is very confusing to me, and this is one of the reasons why I say it's clout chasing. Because, like I said, you cannot go on Ticket TV's platform and then in that breath say it's not about basketball. I want to talk about other things. But then you go on that one show with this lady who, I don't know, I forgot her name, but she sips wine all the time and she has a really big channel. He did an interview with her and he's literally on there talking basketball with her, he's talking about how if you look at the analytics, I was really a good player. And I say, I don't care how you chop up the analytics. We know what we saw on the court. And we saw that you weren't a number one pick. You weren't a franchise player. You weren't even a role player for most teams that you played on. So what I'm saying is, like, you can try to finesse us with that, but we talk real basketball here. It's like if you get offended by that because he attacked Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith only talked basketball. For as much as he attacked,
though, Lamont, that's his job.
No, I know, but I'm saying he's not attacking everyone that strictly went at his basketball game. When we listen to even on that All the Smoke podcast or whatever podcast already had Jeannie Buss on, listen to who you hear he's attacking. You said he's attacking Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Where's his ire for Jeannie Buss? Because Mr. Winters, when you talk, it sounds more like Jeannie Buss was the culprit, not the other two. But where are the 10 and 15 videos on Jeannie Buss?
No, don't do that.
I'm just saying they're the ones that traded. If you go look at the newspaper articles when the trade actually happened, every trade when that trade happened in that moment, every article talked about how that was a lopsided trade, and Jerry West, who was with the Grizzlies at that time, was doing the Lakers a favor because he was giving away a great player, basically giving away Paul Gasol for absolutely nothing.
Can I ask a question real quick?
You taking Kwame Brown real over for a Greg Oden. So insignificant as a man, and like it don't need to be mentioned, is personal. He took it personal. He said his name because it was part of the trade. How she insulting him? How? She said his name because she's stating a fact. Those dudes thought that Kwame Brown was so small that he wouldn't have the impact that he had. So they tried to make a joke about it. And he
was.
And that's what
he was filler. Do you think it's a compliment to be labeled as filler in a trade?
Did they say
let me ask the panel something real quick.
Hold on, Mr. Winters, you got some weird background noise. Hold on, let me see. I need to see if that's a Mr. Winters.
Can y'all hear me?
No, that's not Mr. Winters. Is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah, somebody has some background noise, so let me see who that is. That's kind of bad. Okay, that's D. Reed. D. Reed, you got some background noise. I had to put you on mute. Go ahead with your question. Who had the question?
It's me, Coach Cheese.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so I just want to try to get past this, him taking it personal and it's basketball. So if they're talking about a trade, everybody would agree that's basketball, correct?
It is basketball.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
and of course, everybody that's involved in the trade would be included, even though he wasn't. We'll just leave that alone. But basketball, people getting traded, that's all basketball talk, right?
That's the business, yes.
Okay, so if you remove somebody from that trade, that makes it personal. Would you agree with that?
No, it's not.
If it's basketball, it's a
Yeah,
problem.
it's basketball. No, it's still basketball.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Take your emotions out of it. Keep it simple. If trade is a part of basketball, everybody agrees with that. But if you remove somebody from that trade, that's not basketball. That's personal.
That's not true. Hold on, Hold on. Let me address this question. Hey, Coach East.
Yeah.
Do you know how many trades happen in the NBA where they're between both teams? There maybe three teams here, 3 players on this team, and 3 players on this team involved. But usually in a trade like that, there are 2 primary players involved. Correct. And they don't mention the lesser guys. Lesser guys of that trade, the lesser guys are generally that's just there to make the trade work. True. A lot of these guys, when they get traded, they get waived. They get waived or they're left on the bench and they're waived at the end of the year. They're just there as filler. So it's no disrespect. Like when we look at that James Harden trade, I can name the 3 key players in that trade. That's no disrespect to some of the lesser guys that was part of that trade. But some of the lesser guys we don't remember.
So let me ask
when you look at any big trade, there's always other filler pieces to make it work. Those guys are lesser parts of the trade. Just because you don't mention them, that's not no slight or disrespect. They're called filler.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. My point to that is, say you're talking about the trade, right? And you're talking about the James Harden trade, right? And you're speaking all the names in it. And then somebody says
nobody speaks on all the names in these trades. They talk about the big names.
Just slow down. Slow down.
No, hold on, Coach East, because we're talking. Well, let's let Coach East, because we talk real basketball on this channel. And the real basketball talk. If 2 big names get traded, I don't care who the filler players are. We're not talking about the filler. We're talking about the 2 big names. And the big name in that trade, who was the big name? It was Paul Gasol.
I got you.
Nobody cares. I bet you can't even name. Okay, I want you to tell me who were the other players in that trade.
My point is this.
No, Coach East.
I don't know.
Coach East. Coach East, you tell me if you know that trade. So tell me the other players in that trade.
I don't.
Okay, you don't. But we all do know that Paul Gasol was involved.
correct. But my point, the point I'm
I
trying
didn't
to
even
get
know.
to is,
At being honest, I even forgot
I
Kwame
got you,
Brown was a
Coach.
part of that trade. I forgot he was even part of that trade until they brought it up.
that's all that
So
is
he's so
cool.
trash.
All that is cool.
So
My
trash.
point, the point I'm trying to get to is, if somebody did mention your name, right, and then somebody removes you from that trade, then that's personal. Regardless of how good you were.
I don't know why that's not clear.
Hold on,
I don't know
hold
why
on,
that's
hold
not
on.
clear.
I'm gonna make it very clear for you right here. Kwame Brown made $69 million.
Oh my God.
Oh, hold on, let me finish. When you sign,
Nigga said pocket watch.
when you sign into a professional league, your entire life is fair game. You think LeBron James wants his kids hearing all the shit that people say online and on the news? You think Kevin Durant wants to hear this shit? But you know what you get in return? You get legacy money. Take your money, go do what you do, and shut the fuck up, because nobody cares about
LeBron don't respond. LeBron don't respond, B. LeBron don't
Have you
respond.
seen
LeBron trying to stop dudes
LeBron
from saying
respond to
stuff.
Skip Bayless yet?
Never. He'll never respond to
No,
Skip.
he gets his million. He gets Richard
Well,
Jefferson.
he did subliminally,
he gets
respond to Skip.
That's what he does.
The difference in LeBron responding is he ain't wait 12 years because he's a pussy and now want to make money on it.
I agree with that.
Hey, bro.
Kwame fade. Kwame
You gonna
fade.
tell me that you walked around for 12 years with this in your
Feeling
heart?
like this.
You a bitch.
You a bitch. Straight up.
He didn't say that. He said because Matt Barnes took a personal shot at him. Why can't you understand that?
Matt Barnes took a shot at him. Why'd he go after Stephen A?
Because Stephen A. was a point of
Because Stephen A is the weak link. That's why.
It started with Stephen A. And all he said was that it started with Stephen A. And Stephen A took it personal.
You can't go after Stephen A. You took it personal when you wouldn't bring Stephen A's name up.
That's his job.
Your ass ain't played in 10 years. Nobody's talking about you.
He went at Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Then he said it all started with Stephen A. going to college and saying his name because that's what they were doing.
Hold on,
like
Mr. Winters.
Listen to what
Mr. Winters.
Everything
Mr. Winters.
said.
Let's be factual,
Fuck
Mr.
Kwame.
Winters. Max, if we're being factual, actually, Kwame Brown didn't even know about Stephen A. talking about the colleges until one of his subscribers sent him the videos.
That don't make it right.
I'm not saying it. Hold on. I'm not saying it's right. But one thing Kwame Brown's never going to be able to escape, he's never going to be able to escape that he was drafted by Michael Jordan and he did not live up to the billing of being number one pick. Hold on. And Mr. Winters, let me. I just want to stop y'all here. We all know the impact that Michael Jordan has on the game. Anything attached to Michael Jordan, if it doesn't succeed, it's going to get highly scrutinized. And the unfortunate part about this is being the number one pick. I don't care about all of the number 2 picks or the number 7 picks that Jordan made. We're talking about the number 1 pick of the draft. That holds us prestige for most people. That's a prestigious pick. And when Kwame Brown went to the Wizards and said, draft me a number 1, you won't regret it. And they drafted him and it didn't pan out. Look, it didn't pan out. It did not pan out. Okay. Kwame wants to blame whoever he wants to blame. But also, one thing we never hear is we never hear Kwame Brown taking accountability for the things that he did not do on the basketball court. See, and that's what I don't like because I see NBA players. I've seen NBA. I can give you an example right now. Again, I don't have to be shy about naming names. I don't have to say they or them. I can talk about Alonzo Trier with the Knicks, right? Alonzo Trier with the Knicks, great player. He even had great moments with the Knicks. Why is he out of the league? Because a whole bunch of off the court stuff. Now, is Alonzo Trier running around blaming the Knicks organization for his failures? Or, but it's a lot of off the court stuff. So when Kwame Brown, he selectively tells you guys about why he was a failure in the NBA. I don't like how he selectively does that. He doesn't talk about his sports-induced asthma. He doesn't talk about his work ethic, being late to practice and things of that nature. This carried on in Los Angeles. He didn't talk about the fact that he was scared and nervous on the court, which is what what Kobe Bryant called out. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't talk about it, but like I said, and that's why he failed on the court.
Okay, can I make one? Let me clarify something for you. I want to clarify something. Like earlier, Lamont, you told me about now I wasn't doubting your research, Lamont.
Sorry about that.
I wasn't doubting your research.
I got something to ask him. I got something to ask him after this.
Okay, when you talk about the, you're right. You 100% correct. I never said you weren't. What I'm saying is they just told a background story on Kwame. That's different. If you just tell a story on a player and saying that this is what happened in his childhood, that's one thing. But Charlamagne said this is why Kwame Brown may be dangerous. That's personal. That's personal. That's different between what Charlamagne said and what the Washington Post said. So if you just tell a background story on somebody, and that's their background. But if you saying, but this is why Kwame Brown might snap and do something to you because his dad did this, then yeah, that's personal. That's why he didn't. That's why he responded.
That might have been a little lame. Okay, that might have been a little lame of Charlamagne.
Fuck
You're right.
Kwame.
A little bit, but
Hey, let me ask, but hold on. Let me ask you something, Mr. Winter. Let me ask you something.
My man.
Let me ask you something. Okay, let's say he was mad because Jack and Matt Barnes said what they said. I'm not bringing his name up. Does that still warrant that? Now you start talking about Jack talking about he was paying for bitches when he was in the league. Hold on, y'all stay with me.
Yeah.
Or bringing up Matt Barnes' situation with his wife and his kids. I don't give a fuck what you. I don't give a fuck what he. Okay, they said something about you retaining a basketball. I think with him, he went fucking personal.
That's lame, bro.
They started talking about shit off the court. They was talking about a trade. You started talking about niggas' personal life. That's bitch shit.
That
Do you
nigga
agree with that?
Young,
Do you
dog.
agree with that, man? Do you agree with that, Mr. Winter?
Okay, so did Steven Jackson not respond and say, "Nigga, your life is dirt"?
After the fact.
Did Matt
After the
Did
fact.
Matt
After the fact.
make a reference to inviting a man to his penis?
After the fact.
What you mean? Okay. So he took a personal shot. Listen. He said he took it personal when you didn't want to bring up my name after the woman brought up his name and they said, "Nah, that's a one man trade."
Mr. Winters, I can tell right there with what you was about to say. You was about to eat yourself and you caught yourself. So you rephrased it.
No.
You know I caught that, Mr. Winters. You know I caught that, right? You know you changed up how you was about to say that because you said he felt like because you know for a fact what they said about him was not basketball. So you had to throw in that Kwame Brown said he felt disrespected by. See, we all know that what they were talking about.
What he said?
Well, yeah, but what he said does not align with what's actually going on.
Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that, Mr. Winter?
I agree. If that man said he took that personal and he took a personal shot back, okay, fair game. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on, let's do this. Hold on, let's go to Maxwell.
He said he took it personal. Why you gonna say the man?
Hold on, Mr. Winters. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. We got a new person in the chat. I haven't seen him before. We got Maxwell Robinson. I just wanted his thoughts on it. Whatever, whether he agrees or disagrees, I just want to hear your opinions. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
I think the conversation is in bad faith.
Okay.
I think you're doing pretty good as far as the moderation, but I just think the energy of the whole conversation, as far as all I see is black men avatars, I'm just assuming, and like conversation, it just seemed real weak. Like antisocial, I agree with you, brother, Mr. Winters. I really don't know what your problem is. Like, you talking about anybody on this platform talking about this dude money or anything like that. They came after this dude and talked about his career at a dumbass time. He already explained that. Then he went into depth and explained to y'all his career and what happened and the reasons why. So I'm just assuming it's like y'all acting like y'all ain't see the fucking video. Like, I mean, is that really what it is? Like, it's just pure hate at this point because nobody really has any point because they coming after his channel behind the scenes.
That's not true.
Ooh.
And you know, Maxwell, the only reason why I say that's not true is because if YouTube wants to come after your channel, look at what they did with me. They couldn't take my whole channel down because obviously there's certain policies you have to violate. You have to get a certain number of strikes. But what did they do to me? They said, we're banning you from going. We talked about the Deshaun Watson rape and sexual assault allegations. They banned my ability to go live for 90 days, and I appealed it 10 times. When have they taken Kwame Brown's ability to go live away from him?
You don't know that.
No, they haven't because he goes live every day, and he's actually been going live even more so when he saw that the super chats were pouring in even more and more. No, hold on. Hold on, Mr. Winters. This is what I'm gonna tell y'all. As a YouTuber, and I know some of y'all are YouTubers in the chat, and I've even told hold on, Mr. Winters, you gotta hold on. The one thing that I've seen and I've even fell victim to this as well, and we all know YouTubers who fell victim to this, is whenever you hit a hot topic or a hot button topic, and one thing you notice, if you get a lot of viewers in, this is like your first or second time getting a lot of viewers, and then you see them super chats pouring in, you see donations pouring in, and you see our love and support, you're like, damn, what can I do to repeat this? What can I do to get this again? Because it's almost like a rush. It's like an adrenaline rush to a certain degree when you see that, and you're a YouTuber. You've been, like I said, he's had this channel for a while. He's been struggling with it, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, when he starts talking about Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, it goes viral. All right, now he's getting all the attention.
He was doing what he was doing.
Hold on, let me finish. Now he's getting all the attention and views because what I watched, again, I sat back and just watched. When I watched the man go live 4 times in a day, all right, something he's never done on his channel before, that tells me right there, okay, you're going outside of yourself, what you normally do, not to send a certain message. I think it's because you're falling in love with the attention that you're getting from the channel. There's nothing wrong with that because that happens. When you're a YouTuber, that's what you work and thrive for. But let's not act like he's continuing some of these conversations, dragging them over and over and over again. That's not doing a community a favor. That's doing his pockets a favor and his YouTube channel a favor. Well, that's what his fans want to hear.
First of all, it's
because
growth.
They keep going after him. They go after him behind the scenes.
Who's going after him, Mr. Wayne? Who?
Man,
this my first
not been going after him.
You welcome me on your platform.
Go after.
Hold on, can y'all let Mr. Winters? This is Maxwell Robinson. He just got in. I want to let him get his point across, man. You gotta go ahead, Maxwell.
I don't wish you nothing. I don't wish I don't care what money you make off your junk. It really don't matter to me. And like, yo, all I heard for like, I came in, y'all had to be about 60 minutes in. All y'all talking about it all, this dude's money. Who gives a fuck about his bread? He had the bread before y'all even was talking about all of this.
Who talked about his money? Because that's not all we talked about.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about you. Even though I believe some of your arguments is in bad faith too.
Okay, what's in bad faith? Let's hear it. That's what we came to talk about.
Anybody sitting up here, like I said, anybody sitting up here talking about, oh, well, he going live 5 times a day.
No. What are my initial arguments? What was in bad faith?
I think put like this, you're balancing when the guys are saying, when they guys are incorrect and saying, oh yeah, well, he did talk about basketball, he did defend his career, and this, that, and the third. But when it come to him progressing his channel and actually growing, just like you had the opportunity to grow with your channel, I have not seen it, but you're growing as a channel. He got the right to do that just as well. Like,
I didn't say there was nothing wrong with that.
Hold on a second. When you say, oh, he's going live 4 or 5 times, and then he sit up here, and next thing you know, you referencing him. Like, yo, who cares if you go live 5?
No, I know, we don't care. But this is where I'm going with it. Because again, I've said it as a YouTuber, and you start having success, you want to continuously do it. But if you're going to be an entertainment channel, be an entertainment channel. Don't hide under the guise saying that this is the realest channel, this is what's best for the community, when you're not really giving anything tangible or informational to the community other than a lot of good jokes. That's the only thing I've heard. That's why I came in here. The first thing I asked was, I want anybody to tell me what informational, educational, anything of informational, educational value have you gotten from Kwame Brown?
He's competing on the entertainment level with an entertainment channel.
What information, educational or informational, that have you gotten from Kwame Brown outside of entertainment?
Well, the fact that there's a get along gang, and the reason why they sit up here feel so freely to talk about black girls, but when like my giant kicker kicked the shit out of his wife,
who does the get along gang consist of?
Everybody he named.
So that is nothing new. I've been hearing about the go along, get along gang for years. Kwame is not the first to talk about that. That is just a saying. That's just a phrase. There's no go along, get along gang.
It's just entertainment. Thank you. That's
that's what I thought. Entertainment. Because like
they will denounce their race.
Okay, hold on, Maxwell, because you're getting real close to ethering yourself. So you just said it's not entertainment. So you just said out your mouth it's not entertainment. So if it's not entertainment, that means you should have gotten something either informational or educational from his channel. What have you gotten, Maxwell?
Like I said, though, the man is sitting up here brought into light the reason why they are promoting us in a certain way. I don't know. Maybe you don't appreciate that. That's cool. That's on you.
What? Okay, you said he promoted us in a certain way. What do you mean by that?
None of y'all had a platform to do that, and if y'all did, I don't know if you would.
I'm just asking you. You said promoting us in a certain way. Are you referring to promoting black men in a certain way?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do they, and I don't know who they is just yet, how do they promote black men in a certain way?
The media. I mean, I live in New York, and all I see is when I see black men promoted when I'm downtown is whether it's either fashion or whatever, they either have to be in some feminized role, or I mean, they can't be standing next to a sister. Don't let a child be next to him. So you just bringing certain stuff like that to light. So I mean, if y'all don't appreciate that, that's cool.
Hold on. I mean, again,
and when
normally, okay. So
hold up a second. And when you sit up here, and you say, "Who is they?" I'm talking about the media.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kwame Brown didn't say that. That's what you said.
About? He didn't say that.
No, because I've heard him call individuals. Hold on, Mr. Winters. I'm talking to Maxwell, man. We got it. I'm trying to keep it simple. I've heard him refer to individuals as the go along, get along game. I've heard him refer to movements as the go along, get along. I've heard him refer to media as the go along, get along game. Right? I don't know what the go along, get along game is, other than something that makes people laugh, because he has no real definition. And the thing is, I would much rather know names and faces of people I need to avoid, as opposed to you just throwing out go along, get along game. That would be much more informative, as opposed to just saying go along, get along game, because you're scared to say their names publicly. Because like I said, if you're scared to say it on this channel, you can say it over. I want to know names and faces that he's referring to.
Well, number one, what good would it do to say their names publicly?
So you inform everybody. You keep everybody informed. What? Because that's what I said. See, the thing is,
what, to go to their house?
That's why I asked you, Maxwell. That's
I'm
why
asking. No, I'm just saying.
The reason why I asked you,
name, what you gonna do?
But the first thing I asked you was, what informational, educational have you taken from that channel? And you told me you gotten from that channel the go along, get along game. If that is the pinnacle of, if that's the pinnacle of educational information you get from that channel, then that's a very poor educational information.
He opened up a lot of eyes on based on how he was treated in the influx of what really went down when he got drafted by the Wizards.
Hold on, how he was treated. Hold on. But if he was being honest, he would have told you the full story and not part of it. I've been one of the few people. Yeah, I do.
Let me get in there.
Where was you when he was drafted?
Yeah, I do. I do know the full story, and it just takes research, and you will easily see that. Like when he talks about, okay, Miss Maxwell, let me ask you this: he talks negative on Stephen A. Smith. The one positive thing that Stephen A. Smith did in his career, did he ever mention it to you?
I could care less, man.
Hold on, do you know? But I'm just saying, because when you're tearing
positive.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this: when you're tearing somebody down and you don't tell both sides. When it comes to light, what you're not telling, it makes you look like you're hiding something. So when he doesn't, hold on, I'm about to get there. When he doesn't mention, he talks about how Stephen A. potentially cost him money, right? But he doesn't talk about the fact how even after he was labeled a bust, in LA, who helped him get his shoe deal with Adidas?
Okay.
Stephen A. Smith.
Okay.
Oh, now you can't say nothing, huh?
What you mean? I can't. You agree with me? Who's said that?
Yeah, you quiet now.
Hold on.
Oh, you acting like anything here I talked about that can't be confirmed. I talked about what Kwame said.
Well, that's not what I said. What I'm saying is, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you talk about somebody in a certain light, like before, I'll give you an example. Like for me, people say that I so-called have a beef with Ticket TV, but see. When I talk negatively about Ticket TV, there's also some positives that I can say about his channel as well. Because my debate format, I did look to his channel and I'm like, damn, there's certain positives I can take from that channel. I can tell both sides of the story. There was one point in time he did let me on his platform. Right, I saw that he was using StreamYard. There were bits and pieces of information where I saw that I learned from him. It's just not all negative, as some people try to paint the picture. So what I'm saying is, if you're gonna go into a debate, you better be able to talk about both sides, the good and the bad of a person. Otherwise, when that good comes out, especially if it had a direct correlation on your career, in Kwame Brown's case, when you don't talk about it, it's like you're hiding something when it is revealed. It's just so convenient how his fans see this information, but they see it, but they gloss over it because it's actually something positive that Stephen A's done.
Yeah. See, my thing is, man, like I'm with you on that, bro. Like everything that you see in this man thumbnails or anytime he's talking about something, like you said, bro, it's always downgrading a black man. Like, bro, we only have so many black voices in media. You know what I mean? And so,
Facts.
and you're going
But
at
you
the
mean
ones that you have.
like in the Black Caucus and all of that ain't getting undone? Is that what you talking about?
No,
So
he said
like,
media. He
it's
said
faces.
media. He's
I know,
not.
but you just talking about faces.
No, I'm saying like, okay, like Stephen A, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson. Okay, those three dudes right now collectively probably have close to 2 to 3, 5 million people listening to what they say.
Not right now.
That is facts.
Those
Not
are
right
good.
now.
Yeah, those are good dudes.
What you mean not right now?
What?
They
Up in
losing
smoke,
them.
Just continue. That's facts.
Anyway,
Jared
okay,
Clark, that's
exactly.
facts. That is
Okay,
true.
boom. So between those three guys alone, bro, we talking about at least 5 million people minimum that listen to what they say. So, like he said, bro, you saying Stephen A, okay, Michael Jordan, okay, Kobe Bryant, and then after the fact, you're saying Stephen A, not Stephen, but Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. So, like you said, bro, I haven't heard any name other than a black male who has a position right now. That's what's lame to me. Like if he had came out and said, "Yeah, man, Jeannie did this," and Doug Collins, and I would have been like, "Okay, let me click on this video." But every time I see it, I haven't, like I said, bro, I haven't watched one of the man videos, bro, because they all look like bullshit and lameness to me. Like they all look trash. So you're gonna sit here and talk about all the black dudes that we look up to. I'm not with that, bro. I'm not with it. I'm sorry.
Let me give a salute to Benjamin King in the Cash App with the donation to the channel. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the support for the channel. I like what you said, Jared
That's
Clark.
lame,
Right there.
Lamont. Like, yeah, that's just some lame ass shit, bro.
It's just odd. Like my whole thing, and again, I'm just here to get questions answered.
For sure.
And then like I like that Maxwell's in here. I like that Mrs. Winter's in here. I like that Portia Taylor's in the chat because I guess they are fans or supporters of Kwame. And so my thing is he's putting out multiple messages and these messages collide. And the last time I checked, the only person that confronted him on his mixed messages was Antisocial. He's never put himself in a position or in front of anybody with opposing views to have that conversation.
To catch him
That's not true. He talked to Tommy Sotomayor. He did it face to face with Tommy Sotomayor.
That was what he did with Tommy
Sotomayor. And he knocked the nigga off his channel.
Hold on, what he did with Tommy? Well, that turned into a joke fest where Kwame started making a lot of jokes, and then Tommy started joking back. No, hold on, but you cannot tell me because I listened to it, so I know exactly what it was.
Tommy started with the insults. Come on now, let's be honest. We can.
Lamont,
he started with the insults.
But hold up, I ain't even gonna cap. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that shit for clout, bro.
That shit was for numbers, dog. Straight up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that shit was for numbers, bro.
I wouldn't either.
That wasn't real debate. That was for clout.
So now that beef is fake.
What you mean? That's what he been doing. That's his platform.
Hey, salute BG. What's up, my brother?
What up, Bees? What up, man?
Hold on, y'all. Let me go to Bees, and then after Bees, I'm gonna go to BG.
No,
He's been waiting.
let BG go.
Go ahead, BG.
What up, fellas?
What's good, man?
So, what up, Lamont? All right, so it's been a lot of talk about the back and forth with Kwame, and all these dudes he going at. I agree. When it started out, some of that shit was like, it was interesting, no doubt. The more it drags out, it do seem kind of lame. I like Kwame for sure. I do like him because he down with black men and he down with black empowerment for the most part. I don't fuck with no Candace Owens and I don't fuck with no Larry Elder and none of them house niggas in that vein. I can't fuck with none of them people. I can't do it. I mean, if I see him, I go off for sure. But I do like Kwame. But that nigga ain't clout chasing. If you paying attention, he caught the clout. He got the clout. If he chasing the clout, he got the clout.
Up their ass.
Clout chasing him, huh?
If he chasing the clout, he got the clout, toes over his shoulders, and he balls deep in the clout. Okay, he already got the motherfucker. There's niggas around him circling him like orbiting him like moons,
They chasing the clout.
Orbit
Thank
around
you,
that
sir.
nigga.
Right. They chasing the clout.
Fact.
Like all
Thank
these
you.
other niggas, they chasing the clout now.
Thank you.
You mean like Mr. Winters? Go
Chill out,
ahead,
B.
bro.
Chill
bro.
out, B.
No, that's
They
foul.
said
That's foul. I'm
chasing the
sorry.
bar
B,
that
you can't stand me, B. I tell you.
No,
You can't stand me,
peace.
B. I'll kill you on every channel. You
No,
can't stand me,
Hey,
bro.
B
hold
do
on.
the same thing
Let
to me,
BG
bro.
finish. Let
He do the
BG
same
finish.
thing to me,
No,
bro.
peace,
Come on.
peace to Mr. Winters. That nigga holding it. That nigga holding it down here. What's up,
That
Mr.
boy ain't
Winters?
holding a bitch
My
ass
nigga,
thing now.
my nigga holding it down. That nigga
That boy
holding
ain't
it
holding a
down.
bitch
Talking
ass
about
thing
Every time
now.
you shorty, you mad?
Burnt green.
Y'all mad.
I don't even
But
know
listen though,
you.
listen. But like Karceno, now Karceno is extremely entertaining. That nigga has, I don't know what LeBron did to him, but LeBron did something to Karceno. That nigga cannot stand on
He
LeBron. I
hurt
don't know
that
what it
nigga.
is. He gonna link everything back to LeBron somehow.
It's his fault.
Karceno has an agenda against LeBron.
it
He's
is
there to
LeBron's
denigrate
fault.
LeBron somehow, some
It
way.
is LeBron's fault.
He
It is
tells his
LeBron's fault.
opinion on LeBron and y'all don't like it. He tells his
Right.
opinion on LeBron and y'all getting y'all panties getting a bunch. Oh my God, he talking about my king.
Nah,
That's
can
how
tell
y'all
less.
get.
Right.
I can care
yo.
less about that nigga. I don't dick ride no nigga.
Right.
Who you talking about? Who?
But when it
Hold
come to when it come to Kwame, I would say this, like to my nigga Anti-Social, don't write the brother off as some coon yet. I wouldn't say that about the brother. Let's see what he do with his plan. Like he getting the clout. Obviously he got some money. Let's see what he do. He said he doing this shit for the kids. It's only been a couple of months. Get a nigga time. Let's see what he do. Let's see what he
Okay,
do.
and when he
He
don't do
showed
nothing, what
who
you
the
gonna
coons
do
was
then?
and they showed themselves.
Don't
He
say
showed who the
when.
coons was.
Don't say when. Just
Okay, if he don't do nothing, what you gonna do then?
Then we could ride on him. I'll be
BG,
right
but
here with
Come
BG,
y'all.
on,
Then we
bro.
could
BG.
ride
Here's the look, and again,
Hey, Mr. Winters gonna go
He
AWOL.
was already
hold on,
good.
y'all. Let me tell y'all one thing.
So I
The
don't
one
know.
indicator that tells me where it's extremely hard for me to believe that the money he's generating from the channel is actually going to the kids. The number one reason why it's really hard for me to see that is because he has his super chat turned on, which is taxable income. That's going to be looked at taxable income. So the fact that you're telling me he's going to take that income as taxable income and then also don't turn around and give that money, like it's hard for me.
preach,
Like,
Lamont.
what I'm saying is
But why?
there are ways if you are, and you know what, I salute him for the shoe program.
Tell him something,
I don't think the shoe program is very effective because I think shoes and fashion is one of the things that tear our culture down because we spend so much money on it. So I don't think it's very effective strategy saying let's give away shoes. That's like B said, we find a way to get shoes. Hold on. You go in the hood, they're not giving away Jordans. I guarantee you that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
They're not giving away J's. And if you're not
no
giving
one
away
cares.
J's, nobody cares about your shoe program. They just taking shoes that they can go
They
cut the
give
grass
away
in.
the shoes that athletes have that who for people like Kwame who are oversized and got size 14 feet. And people like Kwame, people like these old, that's what they give the shoes. They're not just giving out shoes, they're giving it away because
shoes. So you're giving away shoes to you know how many kids with big feet? There's not too many kids with that big of feet where you can't find them shoes. So there's not, like I said,
everybody don't carry a size 15. Everybody don't carry a size 15.
I mean, hold on, Lamont. We can't sit here and say that that's not gonna help anybody because we don't know.
Shoes is not gonna help the cause, man. Stop it, man. Stop it.
I'm
If you sitting here telling me,
bro.
if you
We're
sitting here really
trying.
telling me, if you sitting here telling me that shoes is going to fix the problems, especially if you look in Georgia, this is why I said it's starting to become a distraction because what about the voter suppression that's going on in Georgia?
Yeah,
I think that's a bigger issue. What about Tulsa Week that was going on when all of this jumped off? He didn't never talk about Tulsa Week. He didn't never talk about the voter reform that needs to go on in Georgia or that bill that passed that's going to suppress a lot of black people from being able to vote.
Against his narrative.
He hasn't talked about it.
What's his narrative? What is his narrative?
I don't know.
People are entitled to talk about what they want to talk about when they pass.
Mr. Winters even said it earlier, bro. His platform is built off drama with other black men. Did you not say that? Did you not say that, Mr. Winters? You said his platform was built on having drama with who? Other black men. Did you not say that?
When did I say that?
For the culture.
Oh my God!
I said that one guy said something. Bro, I said he addressed black men that addressed him first. That's what I said. Any black man he attacked him first. So if you want to say he built it off of that, that's your opinion. That's not my opinion. But that's
Mr. Winters. Mr. Winters. Mr. Winters. Why did everybody say that? because Michael Wilbon did not say anything to him. He attacked Michael Wilbon.
That's a
He's
great
attacked
dude.
LeBron James. He attacked so many people. So let's stop with the fake news that he's only attacking people that came at him.
When I asked that man, that man said, "I don't
No,
know Michael
He did
Wilbon.
not attack
You don't know
LeBron
what
James.
he did to me
He
behind
said
the
Yes,
scenes."
he did.
Like I said, every time somebody has a differing opinion on LeBron James, it's viewed as an attack.
Hold on.
People
hold
don't
on.
always have to agree with LeBron. I don't know why y'all think it's a law for
Mr.
everybody to agree
Winters,
with LeBron
Mr. Winters,
James.
you got to stop capping so much, Mr. Winters, because it's no secret. Like I said, Mr. Winters, that's why I said if you're gonna come in.
Pull it up then. You got
Hold on,
you
Mr.
gotta pull it
Winters.
up.
Hold on, Mr. Winters. Hold on. Let me tell you, because like this is all recorded. He said that LeBron James' school was fake.
What?
I don't know how
I
much
never
more
saw that
disrespectful.
either,
Hold
You feel
on.
me?
I don't know how much more disrespectful
Let
you
me
can get towards
clarify,
LeBron
man.
James.
It's funded by the state.
Who cares what it's funded by?
What you mean?
He
Who cares?
started a
LeBron James,
school.
hold on. And
Ask
here's the
Jalen
problem.
Rose.
Maxwell, hold
Ask
on.
Jalen
Not him for this.
Maxwell, here's on.
Hold on, Lamont.
Hold on.
Hey,
Let me tell you this.
You know what's required to have a public school?
No, he don't.
Okay, then.
No, he do not. Exactly.
No,
Thank
I'm
you.
saying, how much? Do you know how much money he pours into all those kids who graduate that have scholarships?
Man.
No,
More
Jordan
than Jordan has ever done.
I'm just
More
saying.
than
Hold on,
Jordan
y'all
has
wy'all
ever
were more
done.
caught up in the fact.
Okay,
that,
okay, that's
hold
a
on,
whole other
Mr.
subject.
Winters.
What
You
he's
gotta
saying
hold on.
is
Hold on.
not
What the state pays
Hold
for.
on, y'all are getting more caught up in the fact that he doesn't 100% outright own the school, as opposed to the fact that he's pouring millions and millions of dollars to fund the school. He controls a lot of the classes and the
Curriculum.
bookwork, the curriculum. Not only that, the kids that graduate are coming out with full scholarships to do whatever they
They're
want with,
doing things,
whether
man.
whether it's trade or
They're
whether
doing
it's
things.
regular college. Because again, I've even came on here and said college ain't for everybody, but
Nope.
everybody does need a trade, and because all of the trades are getting removed from
For sure.
high schools, and it's become so expensive to put trades in high schools, you might as well fund them and give them the scholarship money to go do that if that's what they choose to do after high school is over with. So that's what I see happening. Like I said, I've seen a lot of students with that scholarship come to Grand Canyon University out here. I've seen it, and their way through school is fully paid.
So you saying he
Right?
LeBron don't own the school? How the hell do you own a school, bro?
Hey, that's why I was trying to tell him.
How do you even do that?
You can't own a school unless it's a charter school.
Thank you.
There you go,
You have to go private if you want to
Which
own
you
a
did not.
school.
And if you go private,
you don't,
can't.
Hold on, Jared. You gotta let Bees finish talking,
it's a
please.
public school. It has to meet the certain criteria. It's got to have endowments. There's way more money than what you think LeBron has.
And Bees, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
The state decides what is taught in the curriculum. Am I correct?
The state, no, the state decides what's acceptable for you to pass.
Thank
you have
you.
to meet the state criteria to say one grade to the next. You can teach whatever you want, but whatever the state says this is their criteria, every high school in that state's going to teach that.
Okay.
This is why.
Or the diploma doesn't have the same equality.
So while we pocket watching Kwame for the money that's going to the kids,
Pocket watching that nigga.
Just let him finish what he's saying, y'all. No, let him. Look, I don't care if y'all disagree with him. He came in from the jump saying that we pocket watch. I think he's stuck on that. Just let him stay stuck on it.
Maxwell, let me say one thing. What LeBron? Hold on. Let me say one thing.
watch to see how long that school stay up for LeBron.
Hold on, Maxwell. Let me say one thing.
Oh my God.
What LeBron James?
LeBron now.
Hold on, Maxwell. This is what he did. Right? He got a bunch of investors and a bunch of people to start a public school for which he made a personal investment and all the graduates of that school. What LeBron James is actually doing is what Lamont said. He is giving the graduates of that public school a full ride to college, wherever they want to go,
Nobody's doing that.
or whatever trade school they want to go.
I advise you to look for Jalen Rose.
Hold on. Jalen Rose is running a charter school.
Hold on. It's much harder to get in Jalen Rose's school because they literally hand select who can come in, who can go. You have to apply to get in. It's not like you have to apply to get in. If they don't accept you, what do you do then if they don't accept you? You have to go to the nearest public school.
Hey, and most charter schools are for profit, my friend.
Private.
You have to pay to go to that school.
So we can't do this socialist shit and get black people straight. All right, get that out y'all system.
What do you mean?
Social. What are you talking
Like,
about?
like everybody getting in. Like it's not everybody gonna be able to get into every school. Stop.
Wait,
No, bro,
wait,
I
what socialist
understand
are you
that.
talking
What
about?
he's
Bro, when
saying
you're
is,
talking about elementary school, stop it, man.
criteria.
We're not
Yeah,
talking about college, man. Bro, man, stop
This
it,
nigga
man.
talking about
These kids haven't,
criteria.
their brain haven't even developed yet. You talking about? Come on, all kids deserve to get into elementary
Socialist.
shit.
Every child deserves
God
a good
damn.
education, bro. What are you
He
saying?
ruthless
Yeah,
with it.
that's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
that's like North
That's
Korea.
insane.
If you don't pass the third grade exam, you going to work in the coal mine and shit.
Yeah.
That's not how it
God
goes.
damn.
Social.
A child
Man.
at 7 may not be able to find themselves until 13, 14, 15. Like, come on, bro. You gotta give them time, bro. What are you saying?
Yeah,
Said,
wait.
I can't make it. You talking
To
about
the
like
guy,
10-year-old.
I know how
That's
the
wait,
a
wait,
bad
can I respond to that
comparison.
real quick? To the
But
guy,
media
what I'm saying
portrayed
is that, but what I'm saying is that it is not the same, and the state is funding the school. And
yes,
the state is funding
a
the school,
public
and
school,
he
my
don't have
brother.
as much control.
That's not true.
It's called
Because,
schooling,
and
bro.
I'm gonna tell you why, Maxwell. I'm gonna tell you why I know that's not true. If you look at a high school from where I'm from in Indiana, there's a school called Carmel High School. It's in Carmel, Indiana, which is considered to be the richest city in Indiana. Okay, at Carmel High School, which is a public school, they have a class that they teach to the students called financial responsibility. Why is financial responsibility in that public school being taught? But if you go to Indianapolis, like my high school, Arsenal Technical High School, you won't see financial responsibility as a mandatory part of that curriculum in that high school. Why is that?
You won't see that in Gary neither.
Let me yeah, Gary either. So
Alabama.
Maxwell, if public schools are all controlled by the state, then why can schools like Carmel High School control their curriculum and add electives like financial responsibility, but schools like Arsenal Tech High School, who can also control their curriculum, how come they don't have it?
They make it mandatory. How can they do that?
Well, for one, I'm sure they've existed longer than LeBron school, so they're established. This school has just started. Like I said,
bro,
while y'all watching Kwame and the taxable deductibles.
Oh my, you still talk about money, man.
Number one, LeBron has done something.
He ducked that whole question just to go back to money. He ducked the whole question just to go back to money.
By the way, maybe this is a little bit off topic. To the guy who said socialism, Denmark basically, and they've tested this. Their whole system is public, and what they found is that because rich kids have to like mix in with the poor kids, that the rich parents make sure that the education is quality and top notch, so everyone actually benefits if it's just all public. Just saying. It's been run. So just to say things are socialist, that's kind of off base.
Well,
man.
the thing is, it's hard to say. And whenever people say socialist and use that argument,
they don't even
I
know
say, well, what I say is, well, when your house catch on fire, do you get turn your water hose on and start spraying your house yourself, or do you call the fire department?
Someone shows up and
No. You call them and they show up.
There you go.
And so is that considered socialism as well? When you can pick up the phone and call somebody for free to come save your house from burning down?
And Lamont, here's the funny part about that too. If you ask people what is socialism, they don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
They would never say that part.
They have no idea. The thing is, here's the trick. So whenever there's anything that's different, or like like there's a different thing to the system, that's different from the system, which is capitalism. The media has taught people just it's socialism, which is not even true.
Well,
that's like you can't do anything new or experimental because then everything will be claimed.
Then it puts you in that category. Yep.
It's really bad because it then locks you into a box. When
LeBron
other countries
James
that are more
started
successful
school,
have
man.
done things.
That is next level, bro.
The other
Next
thing is,
level.
most people don't even realize we don't live in a capitalistic system. We live in what is coined crony capitalism.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of this, you got a little bit of that. You have mixtures of everything. Because like Lamont said, why people got to have insurance on their cars in a lot of states.
Have to.
That's
everywhere.
Also,
insurance and
the ambulance. You calling the ambulance is socialism. Why is the community paying
for an
ambulance to come to your house?
Why are we paying money for ambulance if it's socialism? Like it doesn't make any sense. Also,
well, it's selectively. But my thing is the argument for socialism is selective based on what the narrative you're trying to push. And I didn't want to go down that lane too much because I want to kind of switch topics a little bit. And I wanted to go around this was the second topic. If you look at the thumbnail, I also have Karceno in the thumbnail. All right, because like I said, I'm not knocking Kwame. I understand that he has a YouTube channel which is entertainment driven, and if he feels like dragging whoever he needs to drag is going to keep the views coming, more power to him. But again, I label that channel as entertainment. I'm not labeling it as something that's informative or educational, which is what sometimes I feel like he tries to come off as, and I don't consider it that. That'd be like me trying to say this channel is educational. No, it's a sports channel. And I'm not going to run around talking about we can educate you. No, we can teach you. I can, there's some things we can help you with, but I'm not going to perpetuate this channel to be informative in real life or educational in real life. It's primarily a sports channel. That's just what it is. Well, and my thing is the people that he tries to attach himself to continue as far as pushing this ideal that he's one of the realest out here and or whatever. My thing is when you look at Karceno has a long track record of also tearing down the black community, tearing down black men, not necessarily calling them out, because a lot of the things that he reports come from back page blogs that are all rumor and they lack a lot of facts and context, especially when he talks about LeBron James. And there's a number of things that he goes down that rabbit hole with. And then we also saw the same thing for me. I saw it with Ticket. You're talking about a channel that I feel, again, is entertainment based, but you cannot say it's something that's not tearing down black men in the black community. I feel like it's doing a lot. It has a lot of detriments, especially over the last, I would say, 4 to 5 months, where it's kind of taken a turn for the worst. And now you have more threats and insults as opposed to actual sports talk. And the thing is, he attaches himself to only people that either are willing to clout chase and agree with everything that he says, and he denigrates anyone that disagrees with his message. And it seems like he's shying away from any real conversations, which is why the people who oppose him, it's extremely hard to get him in for an interview. I don't think he would have did the interview with Tasha K if she really went at him the way I know she could have went at him. He wouldn't have done it. I don't believe so. So I don't know. Maybe y'all can talk about it from that point of view. But I just see too many people who are known for tearing down the black community, attaching themselves to Kwame, and it's just a bad look because he's shouting them out. And I don't care that he's shouting them out. Good for them. It's more clout for them. But it's just a bad look when you're saying, again, his initial message was not tearing down black brothers.
That's exactly why I was on his ass. That's the only reason I was on his ass.
Hey, can I ask a question? And this is real. What's the difference between Kwame Brown and Candace Owens?
One's portraying themselves to be for the culture, and the other one is not. I don't see a difference.
I hear Candace.
No, they're both profiting off tearing down the black community.
Yeah,
fact.
And that's lame.
And before anyone disputes that Candace Owens is not, she got exposed. She got caught. I don't know if you guys know who Charlie Kirk is, or who he works for.
I do.
Yeah, she got exposed by several people, including look up Amazing Lucas. She was getting a lot of her talking points. Like she would go backstage and talk to Charlie Kirk and another white guy, and they would give her talking points. She would be like, "Oh, how do you answer this question?" Or "What should I say here?" And they would give her a whole script. And
she's looking for white man answers.
Yeah, correct. They give her a whole lot script. Like she's fake. She does it for money. She was also a Democrat a few years ago before Trump.
I mean, if you're trying to get in media and you're trying to be the best media person, I guess you should get the best white man answers. I mean, can we knock her for that?
Excuse me?
What?
If she's trying to, jump into the lane, and we all know white men, run most lanes. If she's trying to get into the, media and commentating, would she not say the same things as them? Me personally, I wouldn't go that route. But
I'm saying she doesn't even do her own research. Yeah, she literally doesn't know what she's talking.
She only do her own due diligence.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. Yeah, that's just sorry. That's just sorry. You can't listen to nothing she say.
She was literally in sort of a debate, and then she would go backstage asking them, "Yo, what should I say here? Give me a script." Like, she got exposed.
Got going on.
Well, I think the same thing. Again, you talk about some of the two people that Kwame Brown actually shouted out. You talk about Larry Elder. There's actually three: Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson, Candace Owens.
Wow.
Which we all know, and I don't think it's a secret. I think everybody understands and knows that I believe that he's putting on an act. I don't think anything that he says could be considered legitimate, because he said he's created White History Month for July. And, you have a black man saying that. How can I take you seriously when you're saying things like that? And then we all know Candace Owens. She just talks. I mean, she even let who is the guy? The guy who used to be the UFC fighter with the podcast. He ethered her on something.
Oh shoot! I forgot about that. Joe Rogan ethered her. And,
yeah, Joe Rogan ethered her.
He said that they're victims. He said
Killer Mike and T.I. eat that ass.
Yeah, they did too.
No, like Joe Rogan literally said he doesn't want her on the show because she's a
her goal. It seems like when she talks, even with Jesse Lee Peterson, their only goal is to just switch you to going from Democrat to Republican if you are even a Democrat. They have no real true goal outside of that. Because they only talk about the Republican Party and vote Republican and Republican candidates and side with these Republican candidates regardless of what their political scope is.
They getting paid to do the shit.
They have
they get paid to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
They getting paid to do it.
If you realize, Candace Owens is only what's her name, Stacey Dash replacement. See, once Stacey Dash got that domestic violence, they ain't want to fuck her no more. They don't want to fuck with her no more. That's when Candace
won't fuck her no more.
Yeah, she got the push, right? Because she just took Stacey Dash's place. They always got to have one or two blacks, like
Raven
that sheriff,
Simone,
like
Stacey
that one
Dash,
sheriff dude.
Candy Owens.
Yeah.
Oh, also, again, you can get all this information.
Shoot, hold on, man. I'm tripping. We got brother Omari Juma in here the whole time, man. I don't think he even have a chance to chime in.
Nah, he wasn't here the whole time. He been going in and out.
He been here for a minute. Hold on, I'm gonna let him go, brother Omari Juma. What are your thoughts on all this?
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I lost my train of thought now because it's so many ideals that went through.
Let's go back. Okay, let's just roll it back to obviously the hottest topic of the day was just the Kwame Brown. I feel like there's just a lot of inconsistencies in his stances where, I mean, you say one thing, but then your channel and your actions and your words show something completely different. And, even with regards to calling, he refers to Stephen A. Smith having a white zaddy, but he was just on his channel today talking about how he talked about how
call another man zaddy.
Well, he was just on his channel today talking about how he appreciates all his white supporters and this and that. And not only that, before he starts every live stream, he talks about how YouTube says he can't cuss before he starts his first 2 minutes of his live. So he has to have his timer out, and he can only start talking his talk after 2 minutes have elapsed. And to me, that looks like your zaddy is controlling you to a certain degree. It's just like, I think that's just inconsistent with some of the things that he says, especially when so is it just jokes and people can joke back with him, or does he have a serious message that you think he's trying to push?
I always say this, Lamont. Two things can be true, so certain things aren't mutually exclusive. I'm not going to go and go down the lane of Kwame Brown and his hypocrisy. Y'all have done a masterful job of doing that tonight, so there's no need for me to go back down that lane and point out his inconsistencies and his hypocrisy from his original statements when he first got on this. I think we all will agree we was 100% behind Kwame Brown when he was calling out these media figureheads, and particularly what they do or don't do in the programming that they push. But then slowly after you seen the shift and you seen him trying to capitalize on the situation other than truly give information and teach. Has he left some information, kernel or truth in some things? Yeah, I mean, look, man, Stephen A. Smith always say this: a dead clock is right twice a day. So he has said some things that we can agree with, and he has said some things that we can just totally jump out ship. I tend to agree with a lot with the big brother BG has said earlier. Like me, I'm a guy to just give him some time, and that's my perspective always. Give him enough rope to hang himself, even though he seems to be going down that road. I'm not willing to push him to the extreme of the Candace Owens and the Jesse Lee Petersons quite yet, even though that seems to be the road he's going on.
Well, I only said that because that's what he said on his show.
I don't have no problem with that.
That's just his words. I'm not just making it up. He's voiced his support for them to that degree.
That's why I say I'm not gonna kill you over there because that seems to be the road, the yellow brick road he's walking down. So it leads to your most logical conclusion that that's the side that he represents and wants to kind of like do his framework around. The one thing I don't want to say push back, but I guess give a added perspective to Lamont is him not naming people. I kind of understand why he wouldn't name people. I'm not saying that that's the reason he not, but if we're talking about these powerful figureheads, it behooves him not to kind of quote unquote name names. Because if we talk about the same people, I don't know if he is, but we're talking about white Jewish control and powerful people.
There you go.
So problem with that is they generally care about people who can actually affect their bottom line. I don't think Kwame's at that stage where he can even do that.
Yeah. I'm just saying if that's his point of trying to quote unquote this go along, get along game. That's why he masked it in that term. But look, he just gave it another terminology to it. But white Jewish control in media has always been here from the inception of media, print media, television. It doesn't like all you got to do is study the master teachers. I always say this: study the Amos Wilsons, study the John Henry Clarks, the Yosef Ben Yokis. Like study these men. They've been telling you about media from the inception and how they mask it in white supremacy with black faces. And so I don't know if that's Kwame's messaging quite. I'm just saying if that is the people he's talking about, it would behoove him not to say those names. And you can't really pinpoint a name because these influential people change throughout time. So he can't just name a particular, hey, this is the man right now, because they all have different avenues and things they own. And so they're changed throughout the time. Now, again, I'm not taking up for Kwame. That I don't know if this is who he's exactly talking about. I'm just saying if that is the reason he won't speak on it, because it can be gone just as quick from just like that. We watched it with Nick Cannon when he was with Professor Griff talking about white Jewish control. You see what they did to Nick Cannon. He's still apologizing. So
this ain't the same thing.
Well, hey, I would say it like this real quick. He mentioned Dr. Boyce Watkins as a part of the go along, get along gang. So he has mentioned certain black people as names in that. Let's be real.
Black people, but he just said he just sort of. But see, and here's the thing. But here, in case is the go along, get along gang? That's the thing. I'm confused about who it is because we had Claudia. She said her definition what it was. We had Mr. Winters. He had his definition of what it was. We have our brother Juma. The interpretation for what it is actually left wide open. Our brother Brian Juma has brought his interpretation of what it was. He said white Jewish media. So the thing is, Kwame's been labeling so many different people and entities, white or black, that go along, get along gang, that I don't think nobody has a clear cut definition of what it actually is or means, other than it's just a negative connotation that he uses on his show to get people to laugh.
He explained it on Tasha K. He explained on Tasha K.
I was gonna say, he also explained on Tasha K that analytics show he was a good basketball player.
Right.
Hold on, let me go to Elder because I know Elder been wanting to cook on this. I know he's gonna bring a whole different perspective, maybe something that we haven't touched on. Elder, what you got on this?
What's up, bro?
All right,
what's good?
Shalom, and salute panel.
Shalom, bro.
This because honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all know me. I don't follow this stuff. The problem that we have is we're not really understanding what's going on with all these things. All of this, everything from the political, the media, the sports, all of it is really in one big old bubble. And the name of that bubble is called distraction. That's all it's doing, man.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna try to tell y'all this because everybody wants to jump on a side that fits pretty much the way they think and what they're hoping to do or trying to do in their life or would support. Here's the problem. This keeps us distracted from actually going out and doing. It doesn't motivate us. It doesn't encourage us. You see what I'm saying? It keeps us distracted. And this is why they keep this controversy, this conflict, especially between black on blacks, especially between that. They'll sprinkle a few other ethnic groups in there, but the black on blacks, because again, when you don't understand that you've been called a proverb and a byword, that you don't have a heritage and that you don't have inheritance, and you don't know who you are or where you're from, who backing you. They want you to stay that way. And this is why I don't support none of them, because none of them are doing anything fully to get you untapped from the system. Now, somebody like Kwame, he got his own land. He does stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Grows a little bit of food and all this kind of stuff. But as you can see, I think it was you, Lamont, where here's an opportunity to suck him back in, because he's been gone for how long? 20 years? 15 years? Nobody heard from Kwame. Now all of a sudden, he back in the matrix. He right back in the controversy. He right back in the mix. Why? Trying to make $1. Trying to make $1. And again,
yo,
what happens is that this stuff, what happens is this type of stuff distracts you from actually doing what is necessary to get free from this type of stuff. That's what it does. That's what it's designed to do, to keep you entertained, to keep you speaking, to keep you commenting. Because the more you on here typing, the more you on here talking, the less actual doing you're going to be doing, the actual work you're going to be doing. And I just find it sickening that the curses are real. The blacks are gonna constantly hate on it. Like I typed in there that nobody hates blacks more than blacks. Nobody.
Yep.
We hate each other. We envy each other. We spite each other. We continue to keep conflict with each other. But be the first ones that want to step up and say something to the point of, well, you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that, and ain't none of y'all doing shit. Ain't nobody doing nothing. A lot of talking, but no actual action, because these things keep you distracted from doing it. And they know it. So when this dies down, because it will, you know it will, they'll come up with something else. And when that dies down, they'll come up with something else to keep you talking, to keep you distracted. And then you got 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and 50 years go by. And this is why we ain't no different today than when we were back during the civil rights movement. We ain't got, who said we got more rights as blacks? We really don't. Who could say we're in a better position as a people? We're not.
Worse.
All we've done is shift the slavery from a physical slavery
to a mental
of blacks to a mental slavery of everyone. That's all. That's the only shift. And the only way to do it is to detach yourself from this matrix. So you become self-sufficient, and you help those that have that mindset become self-sufficient, where once they try to force their way on you, you're sufficient enough to to fend for yourself, to live for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to get to a point where you don't need them for the things they provide for you. I don't need their electricity. I don't need their water. I don't need their food. They're poisoning all of that anyway. 5G towers, chemtrails. Yeah, man, come on. Pesticides, herbicides. It's a slow process of death.
Lower side.
So when I hear all this, it sickens me. That's what it does. Because I see the perpetual.
With me. I'm a baby's kid. That shit don't fuck with me.
I see the perpetual. I promise you it do. I see the perpetual cycle that continues. And what they want to do is keep us talking, keep us entertained, keep us seeking that dollar, keep us sick in their hospitals, using their medicines. This is what they want. This is what they want. They will give. Think about it. Do you know why they don't have a problem giving them money to an exorbitant amount of level to entertainers that are black, because they know all they're gonna do is give it all right back to them. They already know that. They don't have no problem giving it to them. They're gonna give it all right back, and they're not gonna empower anyone. They got a very small circle of people that lead off them until they can't produce no more. And then all of them folk are back in that same cycle again. So that's all I got, man. I don't even know what. I know I seen a couple weeks ago something with Kwame and Tommy Sotomayor. I heard about the what's the doctor name? George whatever. I heard a little bit about that. Brockins, yeah, I heard a little bit about that. But it's the same old, same old. I don't have to watch it to understand what's going on. They want us to keep doing this instead of getting out there, separating ourselves from this. So, I mean, somebody else can go. That's all I got.
Yo, man.
Hey, Lamont, can I clarify something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Respect to you, yo. I'll wait. The real facts, because, man, listen, that Monday morning accounting for the sideline stuff, that shit give me the runs. It make me sick too, man.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to clarify something real quick. And shout out to the brother Rufus there, man. He pretty much, man, he says everything that I've said or tried to articulate on most streams. He just probably did it a little bit better. But to clarify earlier about my I wasn't giving a definition with the white Jewish kind of example. I was just giving you kind of the people who at the head of the seat at the table. I wasn't trying to give an interpretation to what Kwame Brown, whatever he calling this get along game. I'm just saying the application of it, he's applying it differently, but it's always been the same from his inception. And those figureheads, those people who control that, I think that's who he might be scared of. Now, who he throwing the Dr. Buzz Watkins in there, I mean, I don't agree with none of that, but that's what I said. He's not, his application of this quote unquote identifying the get along game might be wrong. But I'm just saying to the point where you can't really pinpoint a particular, because white Jewish media control is always shifted. They sell or it moves to a different family name or person. So it's hard to just identify one particular person or two. It's you know, it's a kind of
you want to know why that's hard to identify, my brother?
Well, I just saying because it's not one particular. It changes from throughout, like the same media group, Jewish control that were here in the 40s and the 50s, are not the same ones today.
You know what I'm saying? It actually is, my brother. It ain't changed.
No, the family. If you go look at the ones that own the media, then they're different now.
It's the same.
I know too, brother. Too.
It's the same families, brother. It's the same families. Now let me tell you,
ain't nothing changed.
The route. Hold on a second.
Changes,
let me
brother.
tell you. Just because the name changed, don't mean that the people behind names change. You know what I'm saying? You got a family. Hold on. You got a You got a family. Hold on. You have a family. That's not different. You're saying that it's different people controlling it. It's not. I'm trying to tell you it's not.
No, what I'm saying is the same group controls it. But like I'm assuming you about to give me like the family example. Yeah,
no,
my family.
I mean, all I'm saying is the family. You got many different.
Let Elder go, and then we're gonna go to other people. Let them finish.
All I was saying is, in a family, you got many different names. You may be Jacksons, Williams, and Smiths, and you know what I mean. All of them is in one family, and it's just shifting. But the thing is that people don't realize is the children of darkness. They're wiser than the children of light. Because see, these boogers, what they'll do is they own everything. I mean, they actually control. I mean, not own, they control everything, but they don't own nothing.
Correct.
Technically owning, they don't own anything. So that's why it's hard to connect the dots. Because you look at ownership, you go to the names of companies and who's behind the company, and you got to do research to the zenith degree to try to figure all this. And at the end of the day, it's still the same people. It's still the same people that have come
we just saying
together.
the same thing
Let
in
me
a
finish.
different way.
Let me finish.
No, I'm just saying. So
It's
we just
still the
saying the same
same.
thing in a different way.
Just let him finish, brother. I'm gonna go right back to you as soon as he's done.
It's still the same people that's controlling all of this, and they're confederate. They have come together to make sure that we stay where we are, in the ghettos, in the cities, depending on it. Like another example, like what Kwame does. Kwame talks about the programs he's trying to do for the children, right? But what's his avenue to get these programs done? Is Kwame actually taking the money fully out of his pocket? Or are he trying to tie it in and get money from the government, money from the system? See, people don't understand. Anytime you get anything from the system, you tied to it. You obligated to a certain level or a certain degree. Nothing is ever just free. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why it doesn't ever work. That's why you never see it succeed, and you just see this whole massive group of people become self-sufficient and free. Because you already tied, because you taking their grant money, you taking their donations and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Donations with stipulations. Yeah, it ain't gonna function that way. Well, we should do like they do, and I'll be done here. We should do like they do. They will go and they will offer a service or a product, right? We come in and buy it, but they don't take that money and get back to us. They take that money and take it right back to their communities, take it right back to their families. That's what they do, and build their stuff up. That's just how you do it. Now, what we do is we go out and work and get that money and then take it out and give it all right back to them. So we go buy their clothes, we go buy their cars, we go buy their homes, we go buy their foods, we go buy all their stuff. Instead of keeping it circulating in our true communities. Because folk be talking about the black community. What the hell is that? I'd like to know. Somebody show me and tell me what the black community really truly is. And who the leader of it. Because last I heard, if you got more than one head, that's a monster. So who's the leader of the black community? And what is he actually doing physically himself for his people? That's what I would like to know.
I agree right there. That's what I mean. Elder started off by saying, and that's what I started this whole conversation off. My whole after looking at everything, and I don't see how more people haven't come to this conclusion. If you look at this whole Kwame Brown situation, if you look at the people who've attached themselves to the drama, and they're egging on the drama, and you can tell they're egging on the drama because every time they see a snippet of something here that could be related to Kwame Brown, they're sending it to him, egging on beefs with him and other platforms and other media, black figures, and so we see that it doesn't benefit Karceno. Let's use him as an example. It doesn't benefit him for the drama between Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, and Charlamagne. It doesn't benefit him for all of this to stop. It benefits him to continue to egg this on because we see he's been riding that train. So that's his play in this particular fight. But it's all, like I said, it all looks like it's been thrust in front of us so hard that it's just like, what are we missing? Is there something that we missing? Is something else going on? Like I said, when this all jumped off, when this Kwame Brown situation, the same week that this jumped off, Congress was having congressional meetings interviewing the last living survivors of the Tulsa attacks. But nobody talked about it because that was the same week Kwame exploded onto the scene. Kwame didn't mention it. There's a lot of things he hasn't mentioned that are going on that really need to be talked about. At least I feel. Maybe there are other things that need to be talked about. But I don't think that some of the things he's talking about, I don't think they really have a direct correlation to making the community better.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe if I'm wrong, you just let me know. But just preaching about the go along, get along gang, at least as his definition is, it's not proven to be anything that's going to be directly impactful on our community. It's just for me, it just creates more divisiveness than anything. Because this go along, get along game seems to be a term that he's typically using to denigrate other black men. I don't see it being used to denigrate the white media, as some people label it. I don't see it. It's not being used to denigrate them because he's not throwing any ire at YouTube. He's not throwing any ire at Google Analytics. He hasn't thrown any ire at Google AdSense for censoring them to a certain degree. He's only jumped on people like Dr. Boyce Watkins, who said, if you don't censor yourself to a certain degree, YouTube's going to kick you off the platform. But he went in and attacked him. The only other people I've seen attack Dr. Boyce Watkins are people like Lamont Hill, who started talking about his financial things and just went real personal with him.
Yeah, that's scholarly. That's scholarly debate. They always do that. All them scholars.
No, they do, but that's what I'm saying. That he's the only other one that I've seen publicly attack Boyce Watkins personally, and I'm surprised that Kwame hasn't taken some of the arrows that he threw and is using them against Boyce Watkins. But I'm sure that that's probably going to come in the near future as well. They're just going to use that as more fire to throw at Boyce Watkins and more distractions. At least that's what I feel like is a distraction. But let me go to I can't remember if he's chimed in on this or not. And he just hopped out actually. But John, I was just about to go to you, but John hopped out. John, come back in if you want to chime in on this. I was just about to go to you. Anybody else want to chime in on this?
Nah, man, I'm just me personally. I'm just done with this shit. I wasn't talking about Kwame Brown.
Yeah, I think y'all did a massive job hitting everything, Lamont. We've all brought a particular perception to it, a perspective to it. Some of us and all pretty much we all said the same thing, really in a different way, just how we kind of internalize it. So, good job today on this stream, man. This was good. Whether people agree or not agree, it was still done without kind of the personal attacks.
Yeah.
And everybody gonna keep doing what they want to do as far as following the situation. So man, this was a beautiful stream right here, man.
Let me go to John real quick. He just hopped in. John, what you got on?
As far as like what was the main question? I heard everybody, you know what I'm saying, soliloquize that they were beautiful.
Main question is the main topic. Remember, the topic of this is obviously when you look at Kwame Brown. Again, salute to Kwame Brown for growing his platform. It's a very entertaining channel. I mean, there is some good you can get out of it. And I feel like if all you get out of it is just something that can turn your day around, if you're having a bad day and you can go in there and you can laugh at a few things, okay, fine. That's a positive, I guess, you can take out of it. But what I'm saying is, where do you think this? I think there's confusion in what his channel and what his direction actually is. Is it entertainment and information, or is it just entertainment? Because I don't know what the go along, get along gang is. I don't know. I see all these terms getting thrown around. Becky with the good hair, all these names that he uses to describe people that he's beefing with. But primarily, I see beefs with other black men. I see the go along, get along gang term used to denigrate other black men, but it's not used for the purpose that people in the chat or even Portia or some of the guys who are defending Kwame, he's not using it in the manner that they're describing, because he's not going at those people. He hasn't went at the Washington Post. They played a major role in tearing down his basketball career. He hasn't went at Doug Collins. He didn't go at Jeannie Buss. He went at the two black brothers sitting next to her. What's going on with this whole Kwame Brown situation from your vantage point?
I think I was one of the few ones. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I called him, like the first video, I called his ass out. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like he wasn't built like that. And my whole thing with me is like I done came to a stance where I don't give no excuses. I don't give a fuck. But like, listen, you can talk to me all day long about white people, this and that and all this other shit. But bro, nobody has went through the equivalent what the fuck we went to. Not even the baby Jew has. You understand what I'm saying?
Thanks.
So I mean, what it really comes down to is like, bro, you're not concentrated on our situation. It's the same thing when we go back to Obama. You understand? So I mean, as far as him, I mean, it's another entertainment.
What the hell?
Continuous. You know what I'm saying? With the Tommy Sotomayor shit. You know what I'm saying? It's continuous. With the Karceno shit, like, bro, all these people, truthers like myself, we speak against these people. You know what I'm saying? Your Tommy Sotomayor's, your Jesse Lee Patterson. So yes, I throw him right along in the bunch. I throw Kwame right along in the bunch, because the whole simple fact is, instead of talking to some real people, you know what I'm saying, actually doing some research on YouTube, if you're gonna run these YouTube streets, you gotta find out which communities is really, you know what I'm saying, taking this shit serious. Not these Karcenos for life who sitting up here clout chasing. Let's be real.
Yeah, and we know he does it for the entertainment aspect of it, because he says there's a lot of things that are not factual whatsoever. They're only said for the entertainment value. Hold on, I forgot. I actually talked to you before on Low Key for Life's TV. I think this is John Horsch. He's from another channel.
Yeah,
Man. Salute, man. Yeah, appreciate you coming through.
Hey, Lamont, but
Yo,
is it wrong for him to do that?
No, it's not. It's entertainment.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Not wrong.
Me and you agree that the YouTube is for entertainment, right? That like
some of it, like what Kwame is doing.
Numbers.
The lane that he's navigating, to me, it looks like he's going down that entertainment lane, because it seems like when these beefs start to dry up, he like finds a way to recirculate it and bring it back up. Like all of a sudden now, I saw a video he dropped, whether it was yesterday or something, where he's talking about lesser charged and so he's bringing now Charlamagne's cycle back through the cycle.
That was a month ago.
Probably in a couple days, maybe it's going to find a way to filter right back. And he uses Karceno as a conduit to get back to some of these topics. So it's probably going to go back to Matt Barnes here soon. Now that they're on the Rachel Nichols situation, then it's going to go back to Steven Jackson. And so now it's constantly public personal attacks on those guys. It is no longer about basketball with those guys. It's constant personal attacks,
bro. He has no content other than
lack of content.
Personal attacks. Because like when I said, when this first came out, man, when them boys, I actually watched that episode with Rachel Nichols and Up and Smoke. I watched them boys. I like Steven Jack. I like Matt Barnes. You know, them boys talking about they was smoking weed the whole time they played. I'm like, what? That's crazy to me. Like I fucks with them boys. But when Kwame went at them like that, like I'm saying, man, he's only going at our black leaders that we have. If you want to call them leaders, or they're black people with the most people looking at them.
And them motherfuckers is excuses. That's all they
exactly. And you going at these people like they're the problem.
Them motherfuckers is put right in front of us. That's all we have. That's what they present to us.
Is not the problem.
To tell you the truth, the problem is our own goddamn self. That's why I look in the goddamn mirror and I say I'm the shit before all the motherfuckers. That's why I'm able to say fuck Stephen A. Jackson, fuck all the motherfuckers, because I'm the shit. You know what I'm saying?
But he thinks I think Kwame thinks that he's the first person to talk about. Like I started to question Stephen A. when the George Floyd incident happened, and I saw him being the forefront of it, and he was getting in front of it, and it was just a bit too much, and it started to look forced and fake. And I think people started questioning Steven Jackson's real and like true intentions then, when things kind of didn't start to look right then. And we didn't need Kwame Brown to really tell us all of this personal stuff about him. Exactly. I mean, obviously you have a person. I mean, you were teammates with him. Obviously, there are things you're going to know about him that we don't know. Whether it's strip club, but Kwame Brown's automatically breaking a lot of just codes, ethics between NBA players, because he's mentioned in a lot of things when he talks about what they did in the strip club, money they spent, things like that's something that you really don't see a lot of NBA players discuss. You just don't see it.
But Steven Jackson has been persecuted and talked about in the media. We don't need another black man to down Steven Jackson. Like, if y'all don't know Steven Jackson, I'm just saying.
If your message is fake and it's fraud, why not? We cannot prove it down.
You think it's fake though? That's why I don't think it's fake.
Me personally, I think it's fake. His ass ain't jump out there when it wasn't till people. Listen, I'm just saying it wasn't till people started bringing up the similarities and the lookalikes that he stepped up out the woodworks and actually said he knew this man.
That's false, brother. That's false.
He said it immediately after it happened. He did.
It's immediate, and again, I'm gonna cut Stephen A. Jackson a little slightly. Look, I don't agree with everything Stephen A. Jackson has done. But
hold on.
If you know everything,
A. Smith and Steven Jackson are two different people. We just
okay. Well, I'm just speaking to the Steven Jackson part.
Okay, there you go, Steven Jackson. Okay, there you go.
I'm
Yeah, we
killing
on
him
Jackson.
slight. I'm
Hey,
gonna kill him
Jackson.
slight because he on the journey right now because he has he just switched to Islam. He has been speaking with the minister behind the scenes.
He been going through a lot
for a while. So what I'm saying is he not perfect.
In between blunts.
He been doing what now?
Blunts? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look,
yes.
He's look. If you would have seen Malcolm in his transition, he wouldn't Malcolm the next day.
On God.
Well, this nigga hopped out the cocoon.
And I'm not saying Stephen A. Jackson gonna turn into Malcolm X. I'm just saying.
Why you keep calling him Stephen A. Jackson, bro?
Yeah, we mixing up two people together. I did that first. That's my fault, bro. I'm a little lit.
Stephen Jackson. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there you go.
He has been behind the scenes speaking with the minister, trying to get that enlightenment again, but he still stuck to his worldly ways. So,
but how old is Stephen? How old is Stephen Jackson?
It's not his fault though, bro.
That don't matter how old he is.
Now, this is what I'm saying. This is the perfect point that I'm saying. We as black people make too many excuses for our so-called leaders / celebrities. People.
Who said Stephen Jackson?
My whole thing is, bro, once you lie to me, that's done. I don't believe nothing you say out your mouth. We sit up here and we give Kobe Bryant, we give the LeBron James of the world, we give all these people excuses to keep lying to us. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is we have to say fuck them all. That's if we screaming we. You know what I'm saying? I only scream I because everybody ain't on the same page as me. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I just don't agree with none of this shit. If you lie to me once, you'll lie to me again and again. Like I said, I don't even believe in respect to any of y'all with the religion thing, but I don't even get down with the Muslim thing.
Oh shit.
Well,
I mean, I like a lot of things about it.
You gotta have some type of base though.
Yeah. I like a lot of things
gotta
about
be
it.
more building and less dick riding. Like you can build.
I got faith in myself. They told me I'm the image of. They told me in their Bible I'm the image of the likeness of that man. So guess what? All I gotta do is have faith. If that's my father and I'm just like him, then I don't need nobody else. I don't need no Islam. I don't need no Hufar, no Kufar. I don't need none of that stuff.
Yo,
no, you right about that.
No, you talk about
you right about that part. Again, you gotta understand though. If people are lacking in knowledge, somebody has to teach them. Now, just because you got it, there's a lot of brothers out here that don't. You're right. You don't need religion to kind of point you in the way. But you do need religion when you so lost as we are. Now, to move on from that,
but that's the whole thing. Religion gonna keep you lost. That's just my point of view.
If you don't understand it properly,
you know what? I'm gonna push.
That's just my point of view.
I'm gonna push as we end because we gotta end this soon. I'm gonna push back slightly against that. Here's how I describe religion. There's for some people. Again, I'm not Islam. I've seen Islam work wonders for some people's lives and change them all around. And they compete. Sometimes some people need some type of structure to guide them towards in that right direction. Other people don't feel like they need that type of structure. Again, I'm not one to say that every religion's for everybody. I feel that if you're in China, being a Buddhist might be for you in that way of life over there. If you're a black man in America over here, being a part of the Nation of Islam might be for you. If you're in Africa, obviously where you are in the world, there's probably a different religion to help lead you through whatever your walk is. And maybe you don't, maybe you're just one of those souls where you just don't need any type of direction from another person. So what all I'm saying is it's a place for everybody. I don't never completely dismiss it because I think Elder Rufus, I think he's a Hebrew Israelite. If I'm wrong about that, but I think I'm not a Hebrew Israelite, but a Hebrew Israelite told me probably one of the most intelligent statements that I've ever heard. He told me, he said, racism will end when black people stop hating each other. That's what a Hebrew Israelite said. When you really think about it,
that's deep.
It's so true because the heat that we have. But again, you can take if you actually start to listen to what everybody has to say, you can pick and you can really get a lot of information from them because they all have positive messages that you can pull from each one of them. They all have a positive message that you can use and utilize. And I don't even want to say they're the same, but it's just you can learn from them. All you have to do is we got to start listening to each other and not like what Elder said. you have too many people just trying to be right and be on the right side. That's what Candace Owens and Jesse Lee Peterson, all they force on you. They feel like being Republican is right. That he even says that being Democrat is wrong. They just want you to join that side. They don't want you to understand the political beats. Like I've seen so many people ask Jesse Lee Peterson, well, what policy don't you like? Or he can't name no policies, nothing. But he will run around telling you to go vote Republican. It's just like, man, come on, man.
And to that, bro, like that's the one thing I've noticed, bro, about like you know, these different groups or you know talk personalities. They will never give you a policy solution. For example, they can't name one. It's just crazy to me.
Well, Candace Owens can't either. She's the same way. She completely. She always running around saying vote Republican, but she don't even know why herself. She just says a whole bunch of open-end blanket statements that you can apply to both political parties across any spectrum in any country, but she just says use that to vote this party. She gives no solutions to the community. She does a lot of complaining, and she profits off what I feel like slightly what Kwame Brown is starting to do, just tearing down black people. She profits off of it. And then, you know what? It's hard when you see that type of. If you look at the videos she does, look at the home that she lives in. She's become rich off doing it. And that money can become, just like I said, like what Elder mentioned with the money, it becomes addictive. When you see that money coming in, it's so easy just to hit a live and turn it on and just start talking shit. And you see them donations coming in, you're like, damn, well, I might have to sacrifice another day. I might have to sacrifice what my real thoughts might be so I could just turn on this live and just start talking shit again. Kwame Brown might actually have some real intent, but I think his original message started to get lost because of the money. And there's no problem. You know, again, I can't knock him for that, but to me, that's what it's starting to look like. It's starting to look like the money is starting to corrupt him a bit.
Yeah, like I said, Lamont, from the beginning, man, when all of this started, like I watched the podcast when Rachel Nichols was on and they brought up Kwame. To me, like I said, it's not me. So personally, to me, I didn't think it was a big deal. But as soon as I got on YouTube the very next day, man, it went viral.
Salute, Elder.
It just went viral. So
that's because it was a psyop.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like, bro.
Right around the same.
Talking about Kwame Brown in 2021, bro.
Listen, don't even call him Kwame Brown. I mean, like I said, it came around the same anniversary when Kobe Bryant had met his demise. We talking about KB. We talking about recycling energies. You know what I'm saying? If we really want to have a conversation.
Yep.
Yeah, they was recycling energy. They wanted you to rip dog. They wanted the attention towards the NBA. I mean, with this so-called thing that's going on that's hurting everybody, and everybody got to take the punch and stuff. That little thing, you know what I'm saying? Ratings, man. You're not gonna sit up here and tell me you gonna get all your money off of TV ratings. You're not gonna do that.
He's not on TV. He's not on TV.
Hold on, let's get the last question in, and then we're gonna shut it down. Go ahead with your question.
I appreciate it. So my question to everybody is: we talking about building a community, and we're going back and forth, and we all are looking for a solution to that.
Yeah.
The one thing that I like about what Kwame is saying, and when I was in school, we had trades. There was people in their class, they go in there building cars and learning how to cook, all the other stuff. So my question to the panel and everybody in the comment section: do you believe that if we somehow, however it came to be, implemented trades for kids at a young age, whether it be starting 9th grade, 10th grade, whatever it is, would that change? Would that help build a community, giving people skilled trades?
It won't work.
No.
And it won't work anymore. Hold on. Let me ask.
If you can't just explain why it wouldn't work.
No, I'm gonna tell you why now.
It's a good idea.
Real quick.
Hold on, Jared. It's not a good idea. I'm gonna tell you why now.
Real quick. When I see the kids coming out of high school, there's a few things that they want to be, right? They want to be a rapper. They want to be some type of sports, you know, something sports related. Or depending on where they grew up with.
Not true at all. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. Hey, hold on, and we're gonna end on this. I'm gonna tell you right now, the kids that are coming out now, we don't give them enough credit because they're actually coming out more business savvy than any other generation. They are coming out now, and they're being more creative with online businesses, Instagram marketing, all types of things. So I'm not gonna limit them, this young crowd that's coming up, and limit them. But trades are going to be less and less effective as time continues because of automation. Cars are only going to improve. The need for auto mechanics is going to start to diminish. The need for actual physical labor and trades is going to diminish. So what we have to start, hold on, Jared, as we about to say, what I'm saying is
Go ahead.
we have to now start to transition with the times. And Kwame is right. Coding is one aspect of it, but coding is just a very small portion of it. You can only do so much with coding. And he doesn't tell you that there are also other things that you need to study and learn before you even get to coding. Just saying, go study coding. Okay, but what about the basis of it? I mean, the basis of coding is the easiest thing you can start a kid out with is teaching them how to understand just a DOS. And understanding just how to get to DOS and operate a computer at the DOS level.
You gotta have the mind for it.
Hold on, and no, what I'm saying when I say DOS level, it's called DOS. It means when you go to your C drive and you just need to type in a command prompt to get somewhere. Do you know how to enter those basic commands? So my dad taught me at an early age. He just set me in front of a computer. Sometimes I would watch over his shoulder. So I learned how to operate a computer from his base level. But then once I start learning the base things, then it was much easier for me to get into things like coding and understand computer languages and all that. But that's where the future needs to be. We need to start. Now we got to start transitioning. Now the world's changing. It's no longer going to be about physical trades. We got to start adjusting. And it's not just about coding. We got to understand automation. Maybe we're going to need some people to get into robotics. Robotics is going to be huge.
Because I just want to make sure that we, I understand what you're saying, but, automation is not going to,
yes, it will.
Going to build cars, right?
Automation is going to destroy any manual labor over the next 40 years.
Who's going to fix the car?
There's manual labor. It's going to be the people.
Who's going to do the plumbing?
Automation. Hold on. What I'm saying is, automation is slowly going to take over those jobs because even with HVAC jobs, those jobs are slowly diminishing if you watch. They're not, because what they're doing is they're building HVAC systems that need less and less maintenance.
Yeah, humans not.
Again, I don't want to dive into that too long, but what I'm saying is we have to elevate. We have to start transitioning with regards to understanding that we know in the past it was trades. It's the trend. Now we're in a transitional phase. What's next? Is it trades? And so we need to start, if we want to prepare, not us right now, yeah, training trades will help. But if you're talking 20, 30, 40 years in the future, setting the future up with regards to automation, it's going to be what's next up. So again, that's where we have to go from here. And I appreciate, like I said, Kwame, everything he does is not all bad. The fact that he's talking about coding, that's a good thing, because a lot of people don't even know the first thing about coding and they never even thought of that. So that's something positive you can take from it. But I think he pushes too many people away with the continuous beefs with black men. I'm not even going to stick around to hear his thoughts on coding. I'm not even going to stick around to hear that if he talks about coding for 5 minutes and then for the next 2 hours he's bashing Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. It's kind of counterproductive to
Lamont. You know what's funny about the whole automation thing? I don't know if people. I'm actually beginning law school in like a month, right? And I saw a video of where this I don't know what you call him, but like engineer or whatever. He created a program where if you wanted to get if you want a lawyer, you could get one potentially for free, and it was literally from the computer, and it was automatically giving them the answers and fighting the cases for them. So even lawyers are going to be like out of here when AI gets to a certain point.
Hold on, let me address Sanet. Hey, Sanet. I don't think you've been on this channel long enough to know that we've talked about these things in the past. We don't just talk sports, but we've talked about these things, and we've talked about how to market your own YouTube channel. We've talked about the black culture, the rap culture, how it negatively impacts us. We've talked about finances, money. We talk about all those things on this channel. So you should probably subscribe and hit the like button on this video so you don't miss out when we actually do discuss those things. But I'm not going to act like this channel. I'm not going to fake like this channel is just about those things. This is primarily a sports channel. And sometimes those conversations do go that direction. So again, we do have those conversations. But unlike Kwame, I'm not going to fake like my channel is one thing, but then when you watch it, it's actually something else. So I'm not going to fake like this is an educational, informational channel. And when you tune in, all you hear is sports for the most part.
And before
so
you
again,
close up, Before you close up, I just want to say this is my first time, coming across your channel, man. I appreciate you allowing the back and forth, the dialogue. I just wish people would, he says there was one comment, chew the meat, spit out the bone, or however he said it. So I think, like you said, there's I don't like a lot of stuff that he does. I wish he would leave, some of the people alone and focus more on the content and the context of what he's trying to get across. And that's why I brought up the coding. I mean, the trades. I mean, I couldn't do coding at all. Right. But when I grew up, my dad will fix a car. He said, if you could maintain your car, it'll ride forever. He never bought a brand new car, and he kept fixing the car. So I understand.
He's right.
I don't agree. I don't agree when you said trades are going to go 30, 40 years ago. No. If you think about this, if you're
they're not going to go.
If you're 15 years old, right, or you're 16 years old, you about to graduate, and you ain't college. I knew people who went to college and flunked out within 6 months because they wasn't. It was. No,
I know, but you're talking about our era. I'm saying as we transition to the future, like if I have a kid and let's say he wants to fix cars. Well, I'm going to be more focused on him understanding electrical cars and Teslas and the navigation systems that use to drive those cars. So you have to have an understanding of robotics, maybe some type of programming, because these cars are getting more computerized. And so again, traditional automotive auto mechanics as we know them, that lane is even turning into a digital field because cars are becoming more and more digital as they become more electric and more eco-safe. So we have to also transition how we learn. So it's just about adapting with the times. That's all I'm saying. But you are right.
Beautiful. And the thing I want to just kind of reiterate, and I know you're about to go, but is having a foundation is the key to anything, right? So if you're able to get people where they're not trying to be that basketball player or be the best football player, and they're actually learning a trade, that trade can actually jumpstart something else because now their mind is thinking differently. So I just believe that if you put kids in a position where they're exposed to more than just what they see on TV or basketball court or football, which is all good, not everybody's going to make it. But I'm not smart, but I can do something with my hands. I saw a comment, this guy said, I make $100,000 a year driving a truck, so people can do other things.
Trucks are getting phased out. Automation will take out truck drivers as well.
Correct, but
that's going to get automated.
Now, but if I'm 16 and I'm graduating and I can,
I know, but that's why I said
I could build a foundation for my
I know
family.
What I said was, and you're right. I said, but if we're looking to the future, when I say future, I'm talking 40 years from now. You're understanding that if you look over what Tesla's doing, Tesla has a research foundation in Germany. What they're doing is they're trying to figure out how to build a fleet of trucks that can drive themselves. That's probably going to be completed and on the road in the next 40 years. So truck driving jobs now, probably not going to be, they're going to be non-existent soon in the future. We may live through that lifetime where we see that truck driving jobs essentially become non-existent. So again, it's about implanting, like my dad, he worked with computers at a young age. I mean, when I was at a young age, just by me seeing that motivated me to get into computers. Yeah. So again, if you are a parent, what you do is generally what your kids, that's going to dictate what your kids like to do. This is why we see NBA players, their kids also become athletes to some degree.
And drug dealer kids become drug dealers.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So again, be the example that you want them to be. No doubt. And that's why I say, even as adults, we need to keep elevating ourselves. But hey, salute to everybody for coming through. Great conversation today. I really wish, man, the goal is maybe one day we can get a Kwame Brown or Karceno to pull up and they can jump in this conversation with us. Because again, I know a lot of people are going to run back to them and make it seem as if this was all negative towards them. I think it's just everybody's trying to get an understanding of the direction that you're going, because I'm seeing too many mixed opinions on the direction that channel is taking and the message that they're trying to put out. Because it's looking like it's counterproductive to what they're saying. But hey, as FYF Sportsman, we're going to be going live here in about 30 minutes with our NBA play-by-play reaction. Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. So that's going to start in about 30 minutes on this channel. The link to that is in the chat, or you can just turn on the notification bell. You'll get the notification when we go live. So we're going to be going back to sports. I know we kind of got away from it today, but this conversation was much needed. I don't think we'll be having another Kwame Brown video. This is not going to be a week of Kwame Brown talk or bashing or whatever you want to call it. Not going to do that. But, hey, at least we had the conversation today, and it didn't get out of control. We stayed respectful, man. Not a lot of slander, even towards Karceno and Kwame. But it's just a lot of questions that need to be addressed. And hopefully they can pull up one day and have a conversation with us. But it's FYF Sports, man. It's been another great podcast episode. We're going to be back in about 30 minutes with our live stream. But until then, it's FYF Sports, man, and we out.
All I hear is yap, 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 yap. Ain't talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo! Fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch your cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo! Fuck your feelings, we all know who the real. They all know, shop don't close. Working 24, trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show. Couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby. You must be crazy, trying to ever play me. Or you super tough until it's time to say cheese. Just a little FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF. 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo! Fuck your feelings, we all know who the real